かゲーム画面ないんだもんね。不思議な感じがした。ご機嫌なそれいかがお過ごしでしょうか。アポロンでございます。今回はですね、7月13日月曜日、時刻は夜中の3時頃、2時55分ということで、おはようございます。先ほどまでエイペックスやってたんですけれども、ボスさん、またありがとうございます。来ていただいて。今ですね、ちょうどUBI ソフトのですね、最新情報が公開されようとしております。UBI ソフトフォワードというね、これ画面に表示されているのが、その YouTube、サイト入ってる、サイト書いてるんですけど、今これ何のゲームか分かんないけど、UBI ソフトのゲームみたいですね。なんか、3時から開始するとか、4時から開始するとか、ちょっといろいろな情報が出てて、ちょっと始まる前まではカウントダウンやってたんですよ。これちょっと戻すと、こう。ほんで、なんか1時間、あと1時間ってなってて、4時からなのかと思って準備してたんですけど、なんかいきなり2時50分ぐらいになってからいきなり画面切り替わって、なんかね、開始されたということで、一番最初に目次というか今日の流れみたいなものが説明されてました。これが、今3時がこれか。ゲームプレイシーズンってやつと、トラックボーリングってやつと、トラックマニアっていうゲームかな。この3つを11時半までやると、だから3時半までやるのかな。でその後に11時半から日本時間で2時半かな。2時半からニューコンテンツ、ザ・クルー2とトライアルライジング、ゴーストリコンブレイクポイント。トライアルズライジングアンドか。ゴーストリコンブレイクポイント。AI チームメイトの情報も出るとか言ってたので、ここら辺に聞きたいですね。だから11時半、だから2時半頃、3時半かな。3時半頃から情報が出始めるのかな。コミュニティ、ゲームプレイ、ハイライツ&モアで、3時、メインが4時からなのかな。UBI ソフトフォワード、プレショーなんだね。プレショーの中でゴーストリコンが触れられる感じですね、流れ的に。で12時、今帰るのめんどくさいねこれ3時から、UBI ソフトフォワードのメインコンテンツみたいなのが出ると。ゲームプレイ、ニュース&何が出るかはやっぱシークレットになってますね。ゲームプレイディープタイプ。なるほど。アサシンクリード、オデッセイって書いてますね。今はUBI ソフトフォワードはおそらく4時からで、なんか UBI ソフトのゲームをやりながら語ってるのかな。スタッフなんでしょうかね、この左側にいるこの4人の方はおそらく UBI ソフトのニュース、SF、MC、これ邪魔だね。NC、MTL。彼らが説明してくれるのかな。やっぱりコロナの影響でね、世界的にも結構作業もしづらいでしょうし、ゲーム会社なんてね、かなり影響を受けたんじゃないかな。お家でやるって言ってもね、なかなか難しいですけども、こうやってリモートでやってるんですね、向こうも多分。リモートでこうやって。すごいね。UBI 製のバトルハイパースケープの情報なんかもね、流れてきたら俺的にはすごく嬉しいかなといった感じですけれども、ゴーストリコンの情報でも洗っておきましょうか。この時間にゴーストリコンブレイクポイント、なんか最新情報出てたりするかな。アプデのパッチノートみたいなのが公開されればいいんですけどね。アサシンクリードとかも発売されるし、ワクワクドキドキですね。
Now it's time to tangle with a little bit of the more, I don't know, challenging is the right word, but kind of mix it up elements of Trackmania, such as right from the start, we get this crazy move!
7月9日、まだ更新はされてないか。
Oh, you all instead ran right in front.
Usually I fly over the edge, so I'm already doing well. You mean nice start?
I'm loving this start. It's so
Hold on.
Oh, Fred, you're
Why-
so fast.
Why are you zooming like this?
So fast. How is everyone so fast? I don't
Oh no.
understand.
Oh, I went up too high on the wall. Oh, okay, recovered. That
こ
was
の時
pretty
間なのに
slick,
多分
actually,
結構な人
bounce off the
見て
wall.
ますよこれ。
This is where
Made
it
it.
all falls apart.
1100人
Oh, here's the drift.
Yep.
Turn right
1100
to go
人。これ
left
日
to
本
right.
日本だけで1100人ですからね。これ Ubisoft Japan の
It's like
YouTube チャンネルなんですけど、
This huge ice wall.
みんなコメントでいろんなゲーム
I
に
think it's kind of fun.
Giant ice.
期待してるっていうね、コメントが
No, no, no.
流れてましたね、さっき。
Gotcha, gotcha,
Trick
gotcha.
is you just
Smoked me at the
don't slow
end.
down
It
at all.
did.
小遊三番です。この時間はこんばんは。こんばんは。おはようなのかな。おはようなのかな。
No problem.
お疲れ様でございます。
Happy to apply.
3時半頃から
Consider it of you,
始まるのかな、多分。
Alright, you can tell
さっき
when I'm making not a
カウント
great
ダウンがこう
favor
始まって
by
て
when my voice.
こういう流れでいきますよっていうのがあって、ゴーストリコンの情報自体は3時半頃出始めるようです。今はこのスタッフさんたちがこ
Yeah, the thing, it's
な
that
んていう
thing
ゲー
where
ムだっ
like
けこれ。
if you end up you want to look at them so that you know
なん
where
ていう
they
ゲーム
are
だっ
and
け。
can avoid them, but if you look too long,
なんとか
you
コ
end
ン
up
とかってい
focusing
う
on them and
トラックマニアですね。ここに書いてあったトラックマニアというゲームをねプレイしながら語らっております。
I don't appreciate that, Rich. I don't appreciate that.
All right, yeah. True.
Ooh, all right. Well, as Belinda and I battle it out for third, it's Fred and Richard at the top. Oh no, I didn't start quick.
She's good at this.
Got him.
うんうん。
At the top, battling for that top
これじゃない。
spot here in our second rounds competition.
Who's gonna hit
Obviously, the stakes
pillar?
are high.
Oh gosh, I messed up. I hit it. Oh,
Oh, the
no.
pillar. I made it.
It might be all over. Oh,
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 no.
oh my goodness.
I don't know what's happening.
すごい
You
な
guys。are
なんか
kind
初めて見ましたこのゲーム UBI の。
Grass got me that time. Grass is also bad.
easy
All these
now.
terrains.
I just went so high in the air.
No. Whew.
I do not have the juice to make it across this terrain. Belinda.
I'll give this one to Rich. I'll give this one to.
でも楽しそうですね。
Cactus lands. I should
You
have
also gave
restarted.
the previous one to me too.
Yeah, you asked nicely, so you know.
True. Yeah.
Got Chris out of third.
Not a
All that
great
matters.
round for me. All right, let's go to our third and final map here and settle who the real champion is. It's going to be
Coming for
Richard.
ya.
All
Second
right,
map.
well, we're coming into the final rounds match now. The
これが
final
最後のマッ
track.
チですって。
Fred, you have been a contender for the number one spot here, but so far Richard's been getting the best of you. What's your approach to this track?
He's fast, but not fast enough.
これもアップデー
This
トな
one's
の
kinda
アップデート
tricky,
追加される予定なのかな、それとももうすでにあ
Feeling
るのか
good?
な
You。feeling spry?
Yeah, I'm good.
I like it. Belinda, I think you're out in front of me. Could you please, like, not? Is that it? Is that okay?
I'm
No.
trying
Keep
to give
going,
you a little.
Belinda.
No, nope. You're all right on my tail.
We're all pretty close. Oh crap!
We are.
Crud, crud.
These little bumps, big bumps in this track, are very hard to maneuver over.
Oh yeah, this raise, it's like it's banked if you hit it from one direction, but then if you go over the hump, it's gonna be a little trouble.
You just gotta
Oh, gosh.
believe. You just gotta
Oh,
believe.
man.
Keep it going.
All right, Chris
Gotta
and
get-
Belinda, I'm gonna need you both.
音
to
とか
beat
大丈夫ですか
Fred,
ちなみに
please.
Nah.
ちょっと下げてるんですけど元の音を
Oh, you're gonna recruit us.
あんまり上げちゃうとうるさいかなと思って
Now we're all
Rich is gonna
teaming
go
up.
flying off the track right at the beginning.
ちっちゃかったら上げられま
I
す
mean,
まだ
his gamer tag is UBRich. Is that a promise if we comply?
Yes, it absolutely is.
You
Yes,
will be rich.
Absolutely. You will be rich.
Be rich in satisfaction that Richard won, I guess.
Yes.
I'm gonna take a number one spot at least once during this
Take
diggity
it,
dang
Chris.
broadcast.
I'm happy
このまま
with
ちょうど
three.
終
I
了
like
回
the
です
bronze. Happy with the bronze.
これぐらいで
Is up there.
Yeah, I don't know
いや
how
ーマジ
he's doing
楽しみ
that.
ですね AI チームメイトの
I told you.
話もあるらしいので AI チームメイトってさっき言ってたんで
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Game
Oh
mode
man,
now.
that's
That's a
could be a
bad one.
close one. I don't know. This could be a close one.
These points are adding up. That was a big bite. Rich down in third.
パチノートではなくてこ
Here
の
we go. This
イ
is
ベン
gonna
トで
settle it.
公開しようと思ったのは何なんだろう。何なんだろう。
Taking
他の
the scenic
ゲーム
route.
もいろいろと発表する
The scenic route. Take
もの
our-
がたくさんあったか
take
ら
our viewers on a lovely journey here.
どうせなら一緒にやっちゃってイベント化しちゃおうぜっていう流れでこうなったんですかね。
Just think about those hippity hops.
Too scared to go off the track. I don't know how you guys avoid it.
Fearless.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I mess up right there every single time.
I'm getting quiet because I really want to get a first place finish on at least one of these races.
Oh no.
Coming
Great.
third.
That's so bad.
Thank you, Chris.
Oh man.
It's
in the
worse when you
mail.
think.
I can't believe I messed up again.
Whew.
I did it again.
Yes. I was never really worried. I always knew how this
You're
was going to
sweating.
end.
His palms are sweaty.
No.
Oh,
I don't like
live
that.
rank in there. UB Rich wins the match. GG.
GG's.
Nicely
GG.
done. All right, folks, that's going to bring our little let's play kind of competitive segment here to an end. I want to thank y'all for participating. Belinda, nice work out there.
I tried. I just love the scenery. I was just taking my time.
Listen, it's fun to get out there in a fast car and just do some things.
I
ちょっ
agree.
と遅延ありますね。やっ
Fred
ぱり
Carmichael,
口の動きと合ってない。
close, but no cigar this time around. Are you plotting your revenge already?
I'll get him next time.
Richard, is there going to be a next time, or are you just going off into the sunset with this W?
I mean, I'm definitely driving off into the
やっぱヨーロッパと日本
sunset, but
距離離れてる
even
か
if
ら
there is a next time, I don't
音
think
声
he's
が
gonna
先に
beat
来る
me.
ね。
And thus a rivalry is
映像よ
born,
り
or
も
maybe continued?
Yeah.
Yeah.
現地で見たら多分
definitely.
あんまり遅延感じないで
Thank
し
you
ょう
all
け
for
ど。
joining so much. Folks, coming up next, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the map editor and some of the creation tools in Trackmania. But first, let's do a little schedule check-in. After our Trackmania segment here, it's going to be the Ubisoft Forward pre-show at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, where we'll be seeing some AI
Pre-show ね。
teammates coming to Ghost Recon Breakpoint, getting an update from the Crew 2. Trials Rising will be showing off
The
a
Crew
fan
2も
favorite,
情報
and
出
we'll
るんだ
see a
ね。
whole bunch more
Just
games
Dance
on
とか。
display. Then at noon Pacific time, when that timer runs out, it's going to be Ubisoft Forward, the main showcase. Watch
メインショーね。メインショーは4時からと。
Valhalla, some new announcements and more. Don't want to miss that one. And after it's over, stick around for an in-depth look at Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's all coming up here shortly. But now I've got Augustin De Vita, producer at Ubisoft Nadeo, the creators of Trackmania, joining me to talk about creation in Trackmania. Augustin, welcome.
Hello, Chris.
トラックマニアの
So happy to be here.
Oh man,
クリ
exciting
エイターという
times
か
for you. Your
プロ
game
ジェ
has
クター
just launched. People
プ
are
ロ
out there racing in droves. How does it feel?
デューサーか、プロデューサー
It。feels great. I mean, it just feels great. The
これ
game
コー
is
ス
really,
自分で
really
作れる
good.
んだね。
It's really an evolution of Trackmania, and we couldn't wait for it.
And also, folks are out there creating stuff. We see
Yeah.
right here, we're seeing some map
へー
creation sped up. We got a
自由度
little
が
time
高い
lapse
ね。
thing pre-prepared for us here as we talk through
ああ、
the
結構
map
アイディア
creation
としては
mode. But
新
I
しい
guess
かも
give
ね。
us like an overview starting off, Augustin. Like, what was your team's goal when like putting these creative tools in the hands of players?
So we always want the tools to be easy
3
to
時半か。
handle, and the big issue we were facing
いろいろ
that
出る
there
みたいで
is
すね。
too many blocks in the game. There is 1,600 blocks in the game actually, and so we had to organize all the tools and to organize the new features. And he's doing a great job right now because he knows what he's doing. But when you start making the first map, you really don't know where you're going to. It's really hard to get to. And,
When you say
it's really
blocks,
easy.
sorry to interrupt, but when you say
Yeah, go,
blocks, you just mean all these little pieces that we're seeing of track,
Yeah.
planted this way, that way, this terrain, that terrain.
Yeah, that's how it works. If we
富
piece
永
of
さん
the
で
map
ござい
is
ます。
what
あ、
we
あ、
call a block.
ちっちゃいあって。
So it's some the size,
Ah,
and you can go like
先ほどはありが
diagonal.
とうございました
You。have rods, you
エ
have
ペックス配信来ていただいてね。
decoration, you have checkpoint start, finish, you have boosters, and all of this makes a map. So there is
いや、
so
ライブ
many
イベン
blocks
ト
that there
の
is an infinite
情報とか出るか
combination
な。
possible in the map editor.
And there's
パ
also
ッチ
trees,
ノ
as
ート
I
じゃ
know
な
from
いから
personal
ね。
experience.
言って。
Yeah, you can
パッ
get
チノート
into
も出
them,
そうだけどね、この
pretty
後
quickly in
と
the
か。
game.
いつ
So
いつ来る
we're
かだよね、
seeing
アップ
here,
デーが。
some-
ア
they're
ップデーがい
not-
つ
the
来るの
players
か
not
が
just sort of
ちょっと気
creating
に
the
な
map,
る。
they're also like, okay, I added a little bit, now I'm testing a little bit, now I'm adding a little bit.
聞き
That
逃さ
testing
ないよ
is
うに
kind
し
of
ない
like
と
the
ね。
immediate
逃しちゃい
feedback
そうだから
on,。is this working, is it not, is this the
メモ
feel
帳
I
用意
like,
しと
is
こ
it
う。
not?
Yeah, you always have to test what you're doing just to see if the curve is right, if the
ア
speed
ポ
is right.
指輪かアポロさん
And
ど
we
っち見
added
ればいい
some
めっちゃ
tools for that.
めっちゃ
So, for example,
めっちゃ
when you
悩んでる
test
ね
and then you come back to the game, you have your ghost to see what was
ブ
your
ロ
speed
ン
at
カ
this
ゲー
time.
マーズさんこんばんは。はじめまして
You know, to try to
本当に
reproduce
これ
or
配
to
信
do
され
better than him. So
るん
you
ですか
can
ね。そうですね、今これライブ配信中です。
every part of the game
UBI
and
ソフト
really
の
good,
あの
really good map
YouTube
for the players.
ジャパンの方ですね。
Interesting. Okay.
UBI ソフト
So
ジャ
when
パンの
you're
方
when you're starting out,
で
you know,
配
obviously
信
we're
されて
seeing
ます。コ
someone
メントも
with
たくさん
some
出て
map
ますね。
creation skills. But when players are starting out,
概要欄にあの
you know, are there
貼ってま
some
す。
tools to help them out? Are
一応
there,
ね。
is it pretty, you know, what do you recommend in terms of like, okay, when you're starting out, just try to
予定
make
として
like
は3時半頃
a
に
simple shape, or, you know,
ゴー
try
スト
to
リコン
put
だ
in
と
the
か
same
ジャス
jump
ト
and
ダンス
that's
あと
good.
は
Yeah, well, in the free version of
なんだっけ
Trackmania, there is what we call a simple
頭が
editor. So there
APEX
is
や
a
りすぎて
simple
回
editor
って
and
ないんだ
advanced
けど
editor. What
あ
we're seeing
ザ・
now
クルー
is the
ツ
advanced editor.
とか
So
の情報
all
が
the
3
tools,
時半
all
か
the
ら
blocks. And the simple
出始め
editor
て
editor is like
4
the
時
best
が
of,
メインな
of
あ、
blocks.
うん、
So
4時が
sometimes
メイン
you
か
need
な
to do
4時
like
メインで
a simple track, but a good one. You can
何
at
の情
least
報が
make
出
a
るの
good
か
one.
サプライズで
I recommend to start with
いろいろ
this,
と
and then after you can get to the
隠されてますからね
advanced
今のとこ
editor
ろ
and make crazy stuff like
ハイパースケープねハイパースケープは
Nice.
多分
Now,
メイン
is
として
that
4時ぐらい
advanced
に出る
editor
んじゃない
pretty
ですか
akin
ね
to what the Trackmania team
みんな
uses
期待してます
to
からねやっ
create
ぱ
the actual
僕も期待してる
tracks in the game?
その一人なんです
yeah,
けれども
it's exactly the tools that we are using every day to
こ
make the
こ
track.
でいつから配信ですとかってね明確にこう出てくればかなり激アツですけど
So
ね
they can make the same track as
無
us.
料でこう配信される予定ですからね
Nice. So you can
フ
challenge
ォートナイ
people with each
ト
other
は
in game a
昔
little
や
bit.
ったことはありますけど今はやってない
And
ですねそん
sometimes
な
they're
に
better than us. They do tracks that amaze us.
昔
I mean,
1年ぐらい前かなでも
I
う
played
ん
some tracks that I always remember.
海猫さん睡眠取れない
Well, that's when you
まあ
hire
ゴースト
them
リコ
for
ン
the
だけ
team
気に
fight.
なるのであれば3時半
Yeah,
か
yeah,
ら
but
4時ぐらいまで
we are all
でいいかな
well,
僕は
the
ちょっと
guy doing the video
その
right now
ね
is-
ハイパースケープの
used
情
to
報が
be
気
a
になるの
player,
と
still
朝
a
栗とかも
player,
ね
now he's working with us, and we
どう
always
なのか
have
なっ
like
ていう
pro players coming
写真クリード
into
最
the
近のやつはや
team
ってないですけどね
and
どうなの
designers
かなっ
and
ていう
level designers.
That's very cool. So, I mean, we're talking here about the Trackmania community then. You know, there are
あ
people
登
out
録して
there
いただきまし
who are
た
gonna
あ
be
りがとう
creating
ござい
these
ます
tracks. If they're creating the tracks, they want people to race on them. How do they get folks
ただの
in the
ゲーマー
seats,
ですけれど
you know,
もよろしくお願いいた
to
しま
race
す
on their track?
めちゃめちゃゲーマーで
It's really
す
simple with the next Trackmania, because now once you're done with your track,
ありがとうござい
you
ま
can just
す
put it
登
out
録
there
ありがとう
on
ござい
what we
ま
call a
す
server review, a map review server, and they can like
ね
everybody
トラックマリア面白そうっすよ
can
ね
test your tracks, they can rate your tracks,
自分で
and
こ
when
う
they
コー
rate
スを
it,
カスタマイズできるっていうの
for
は
example, 5 stars
珍しいというか
afterwards,
今までなかったんじゃないです
if
か
your
ね
track is good
レースゲー
for
っ
the
て
players and we decide
一
it's
番
good,
有名な
we're
ので
going
言う
to add
と
it at what we call track of the day, which is like the
グラン
front
ツーリ
page
ス
of
モ
the
と
game,
かになるん
and
ですもん
everyone
ね
is going to play it
うん
for sure. Every day there's
リ
a
アル
new
な
track made
リ
by
ア
the
ル重
players.
視な
Nice. And
感
so
じの
there's also,
UBI ソ
but
フトも
there
で
is
も
also that
レース
like
ゲー出てますからね
server where and can any player just kind of
ザ・
go
ク
in
ル
and be
ー
like,
2
let
1
me
もそう
see
ですけ
what
ど
new
1やってま
creations
した
people
僕
have
ザ・
today
クル
and then rate them. So if
ア
that's
メリ
your,
カ大
if
陸
that's your
全
thing,
土
if
を
you're
こ
looking
う
maybe
走
for
れるってい
inspiration
う
or
コ
just
ンセ
looking
プ
to
トで
try
作っ
some
てる
wacky
アイ
new
デアはす
tracks,
ごいですよねやっ
that's
ぱ
the
ね
Yeah,
happy thing to go.
exactly. That's why I always go to this server like every day and try new maps, even if nobody is like pushing a map right now. There is always maps pushed
う
earlier
ん
in the
アイデアは本当にす
earlier
ごい
in the day, so you can there is
今ま
always
でなかっ
tracks
た
to
ものを
test,
作ろうと
new
する
tracks
そ
to
の
test. It's
クリエイ
really
ター
great.
精神みたいなのがやっぱり
Nice.
UBI ソフトさんにもあるみたいです
And
ね
so
大人 PS4 サ
So
バ
you
ア
get
ジア
your track in
36
there,
位
you get
おおすごいじゃないです
enough,
か
get enough stars,
めちゃめちゃ
get
すごいじゃ
considered
ない
by
です
the team,
か
and you select them as a track of the day.
フォート
Then
ナ
you
イト
know
ね
people are
難しいですよ
racing it. And
ね
there's some incentives for people to get on that track as well, right?
建築しながら戦う
Yeah, every day there will be what we call a competition, a daily competition on this new track at 7 p.m. CST, and
なんかソニーがフォートナイトの会社にいくらだったか何億円だか忘れましたけど出資したって言ってましたね言ってたというか か情報ニュースでなってましたね。
every day you have to come, if you want to,
PS5
to
で
compete on this track,
フォートナイトの開発会社が何か
you
を
earn trophies and you get better
発売するかもしれないという
in the
ちょっとした期待があります。
Ah, nice. And speaking
そ
of
うね。
competition, we are going to be
やる
seeing
こと多いですよ
some
ね。
of the
建
top
築して
community
守っ
racers
てみたいな
take
ね。
on this very track here in just a few moments, folks, in our next segment. Right now, we're talking with Augustin about creation in Trackmania. And so far, we focused on the map editor, the track creator that we're seeing in kind of a time-lapse fast forward here. But there's also other creative outlets. I mean, you can customize,
ヘッドセット
for
ソニーの
example,
かな
the
違うか
livery
な
on your car.
上の Ubisoft ニュースの
because
人が
in
つけてるやつ。
Trackmania, So you can create any skin you want with what we call a skin painter, and you can share it really easily with the world within clubs. In just one click, you can find new skins that you like, and you can apply them or add them to your favorites. It's really changing game for Trackmania. It's never been it's so easy to change skin and discover new skins.
What's your approach here, Augustin? Do you like pick one you like and stick with it for months, or are you like switching it up every other day, mixing
ステ
it
ルス
up?
ゲーステルスゲーだと
New skin. I just go to
アサシン
the
クリー
list
ド
and
と
see,
かか
oh,
な。
this one is nice, so let's apply it, and then I have my skin in the game. So
エペはシーズン3残り
Excellent. Yeah, it's so fun to
20
see what
から
people
始めて
come
プラ
up
チナ
with,
1
and I imagine this is
多
also
いじゃないですか。
something for you. You know, these are the creation tools you use, your team is used to create the tracks, the
FPS
skins,
結構うまいんですね、
etc.
したら
But
ね。
you know, to a certain extent, you give the tools to the players, they're going to come back and surprise you.
yeah, they're always like surprising us with really great new.
山岸さん、ワンでございます。おはようございますになるのかな。はじめまして。いらっしゃいませ。アフロンと申します。UBI ソフトのね、情報盛りだくさんですね。UBI ソフトフォワードを雑談しながら見ていきます。そう、僕メインでゴーストリコンやってるので、その情報、めちゃめちゃ期待します。3時半頃にゴーストリコンだとか、ザ・クルーツ、ジャストダンスなどの情報が来るようでございます。
Just like excellent, slick, like drift precision that people can display. Looks really cool, and you have some in-game tools to help people showcase that stuff.
明日テスト、明日テスト。明日テストでもゲームやっていく。僕の学生時代もそんなもんでした。
At the same time, players can make the
明日テストなのに全然もう勉強しないで徹夜でゲームやったりしてましたね。あんま良くないですけどね。おすすめはしないです。1時間目から寝ちゃうんで絶対。明日ってか、もうそうです、今日なんですよね。朝後悔するんですよ。学校行く時間になってから朝飯食いながら後悔するんですよ。ああ、寝ときゃよかった。でもやめられない。朝クリはステルスゲートを見てはない。ああね。まあいろいろありますよね。あ、僕もそれちょっとわかります。なんだろう。その家を登ったり屋根を走ったりとかっていう、なんていうんだっけそれ、なんとかコンとかっていうね感じでね。言葉出てこんわ、さすがに。6時間くらいエピやった後だからもうね。全然頭回ってない。言葉が全然出てこない。いつも以上にやばいね。
Yeah, so in the game there is what we call clubs, and you can create or join any clubs you want, private, public, with friends, for example, or just a streaming community within a club. And within those clubs, you can share skins.
気持ちはすごい元気なんだよ。言葉が出てこないね。やばいね。
campaigns with 25 maps, and you can create also events, so people can gather around and use the same skin, for example, have a club tag.
今の朝クリはステルスから離れてしまってる。なんか、
Well, it sounds like there's lots of tools for folks to get creative, to share those creations, to discover new stuff, in addition to just racing and trying to beat the tires off of each other.
Yeah.
Excellent. Augustin, thank you so much for joining us to talk a little bit more about Trackmania. Folks,
やっぱアサシンクリードって過去に戻って戦うから銃とかはあんまりないですからね、アサシンクリードのゲームってね。近接でまさにアサシンみたいな感じかな。どう戦っていくのか。
Alright, folks, we've got some
Metal
competitive
Gear.
play coming up here just shortly, but first, another schedule reminder of the order of events today. Our Trackmania showcase continues until about 11:30 Pacific time. Then it's the Ubisoft Forward pre-show. We'll be taking a look at AI teammates in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, getting updates from
ベロニカさん、はい、お疲れ様です。ありがとうございました。また遊びに来てくださいね。
and a bunch more. Then at noon Pacific time, it's the main event, Ubisoft Forward, with Watch Dogs Legion, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and more from Ubisoft's upcoming lineup.
アサシンクリードバルハラか。メインがアサシンクリードバルハラとモア、モットだって言ってましたね。
Joining me now is Omar Ben Abdallah, live producer at Ubisoft Nadeo, to talk about all the ways that Trackmania can get a little more competitive. Omar, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, and you?
ライブプロデューサ
I'm doing good. I'm excited to
Great.
see some of the some
ー。ね、
skills.
何が出る
I
か
mean,
なんですよ
not
ね。
that-
本当に隠されて
not
ま
that
す
we
から
had
ね。
no skills earlier. I'm just this is a whole different level, right? Because these are some of the top racers in the community.
Yeah, what we did basically is invite the 6 or 7, I think, best players of the closed alpha we organized, and we'll be seeing them racing in rounds mode, so they all start at the same time, and the fastest guy win.
All right, who's your money on here at the outset?
I'll just take
こ
the
れ
easy pick
コ
and go with short
コース
distance.
作っ
You
て
won
ゴー
that
ルした
round.
後はもう野に放たれるん
There
です
he
ね
is.
このゲーム。
Top of the pops right there.
面白い。
And key nine
その先
viewers
作
will
って
know
ないと
this
ね。
is the track we just saw being created, and actually the fifth place player I think in that round is the one who made it. So, Tona,
Yeah.
you can step it up. I believe in you.
これ近道とかしちゃダメなのか
Probably
な。
can win this one round.
あ、チェックポイントが用意されてるんだ。
So as
地
we
面に
watch
書
them
かれてる
compete, I wanted to talk to
青
you
い
a
マーク
little
みたい
bit
な
more
のところを
about,
通らないとダメだか
you know,
ら
how
近道は
people
しちゃいけ
kind
ない
of
のか
like
なこ
take on new competitive challenges in Trackmania, because you know right from the get-go you start playing,
れ。うん、
there's
あ
the
るね。
inherent competition of racing. You're trying to get a better medal, a faster time, and maybe you're racing against your friends. But what are some of the other ways people can kind
スー
of
パーファ
get
ミコンの
into
マリ
that
オカートだった
broader
らもう絶対近道
competitive
できる
scene?
タイプのやつですねこれ。
Basically, what we try to do is to design features that will be good for any kind of level you have on Trackmania, whether you're a professional player or just someone that wants to discover the game and get better each day. So you'll have a lot of new ways to train and get
そう
better
だ
at
明
the
日
game.
学校だ。
Gaining more
ミネ
medals.
コさん気づいてい
Maybe reaching
く
the。gold medals on all the maps of the official campaign, which is a great achievement.
明日
already.
祝日です
You'll
よ
be。able to play against VIPs, ghosts.
やっ
Which
た
means that
ー
you'll be able to compete against
なかったっす
yourself
か
or against your favorite streamer.
僕
against
祝
your
日でも
friends.
祝日とかいう情報を耳に絶対に入れないようにしてたんですよ俺。なんでかって言ったら最後のホームルームで先生とかが「明日は祝日なんでしっかり家で勉強するように」とか言うと「明日祝日かやったー!」ってなるっていうその喜び味わいたいので。
Excellent. Shout out to Tona who did take that second win on the track of his own creation. Nicely done.
90度でも登っていけんのこれ。
track here and
すごっ。
see that's the kind of move that when I'm
that's
flying
really
out
great,
over the over Oblivion.
We all did. Like, it took us some time to get used to the
知らない方が嬉しいみたいな。
Yeah, and
情報あり
so
ますよね。
these folks have played a little bit already, but in terms of what they're
め
seeing,
っちゃ飛
what
ぶやん。
competitive players are seeing in
あ、近道
Trackmania,
してるじゃん
what's
これ。
kinda some stuff that's going to be a
あ、ゴー
little
ルでき
bit.
なかったこの人。
Oh my goodness. No
Yeah.
way.
That's scary. It's
Oh,
okay.
but-
That's only the warm up.
It's
So
only
they
the
still
warm-up.
have a shot. Yeah.
No wonder they're sending it. No wonder.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of like, okay, so you've done your sort of like, you've done your solo competition. You want to like maybe compete with players on a broader scale, seek out folks who race around the same time as you. Like, what are some good ways to do that?
Well, what we have currently on the game will be daily cups, which is something completely new for Trackmania, where you'll be able to compete against
今の
every
今
player
の
in
おか
the
しいよ
world
ね。
who
なんで
wants
そっ
to
ちに行くんだ
participate
ろうっていう。
every day at 7 p.m. European time, and basically you'll be able to see how good you are on the track of
7
the day
p.m. European
and compete
time。
against everyone in the world and see how good you are against each other. Then obviously you have the Nations League, which will happen
ヨー
each
ロッ
week,
パで7時ってことは
where you'll be able to represent
15
your
時。
country and see which country is the best basically each week on the game. And then the Open Grand League, which is a great way to feel the pressure of the professional players because you'll be playing on the same maps and the same format as the Grand League. So you'll be basically living the experience of a professional player by playing the Grand League. And maybe if you get good, maybe at some point you'll be joining the Grand League and play against the 16 best players in the world.
Oh my goodness. Well, we see Grand League plastered all over this track here.
Yeah.
普
That's
通だ
the
ったら
sort
バ
of
カし
highest
てる。あ、
level
確か
of
に
Trackmania
それ以前
sport.
の問題でこう90度登った後に手前に降りてこないで向こう行っちゃうのはあれなんだろう空気の抵抗かな。
And we just put them on a special format that we design where everything is possible until the end and the last second of the last track.
空力聞いてなさそうに見えますけどねこれ一見。
Nice. So in September, more Grand League action coming your way. But you know,
めちゃめ
there's
ち
a
ゃ
lot
運
of
じゃないですかこれ
competitive
運ゲーじゃないです
space
か
in
この
between
この
the
コース。
tippy tip top for you to get involved. And is that something that you know, in terms of like, I just booted up Trackmania, I've raced a little bit. Is that going to be easy for players to find? What's the way to get into that?
よく見るとスタジアムの外側に世界中の国旗がありますね。日本あるかな。
It will be also easy for the people to create events through the clubs, where you'll basically be able to create an event in less than 2 minutes and decide which map you want to have, which kind of format. So we made everything easier for everyone on Trackmania.
Nice. So that can even be just you
3時
creating the events to just play with your friends or your
30分から
classmates or whatever else. Yeah. Nice. And so these clubs. This is kind of a way like. Clubs are also a way that people can get into, finding people who,
情報こう
like to race at the same time again, or are friends or are connected through different ways. And the clubs can be kind of of any size, right?
Yeah, you can have a club which is completely private and where you play only with your friends or your roommates, classmates, or you can just have a public club which
3時30分からゴーストリコントップじゃないかもしれないけどね。ゴーストリコンとジャストダンスとザ・クルー2が被るって言ってたからね。その30分の間に。ムービーバー流れて終わる感じかな。これ何も情報なかったらシャレにならないけどね。
This is a pretty close match.
Actually,
the top leader only has a few points ahead, so I like it. Thanks for recruiting these folks into the action here to give us a look at some real speedy, real tight turns.
アップデ情報の動画、はい、上げますよ。情報がちゃんとあればね。テンション上がる情報があればですけど。
They're getting used to the game and they're playing really good compared to what we do.
I wish I had watched them play before our session earlier, but that's all right. For the future,
you can play against the Ghost if you want to learn the map actually.
That's true. Although, can you really learn from a Ghost if it
これでなんか
screams out ahead of you?
ツイッターとかに流れてたような動画だけ流して終わりです。AI チームメイトは彼らです。フューリー、バシリー、フィクシット、この3人です。以上です。で終わったらちょっと俺は動画作れないかなと思いますけど。そう、ライブイベントの情報もね、期待したいんですよ。もはやそっちが欲しいです。そっちの情報が。ライブイベントと同時だし、もう7月にアップデ来るっていうのは確定で公式が言ってる話なので、延期して7月ですからね。また延期することまた延期することはないか。いやー、AI チームメイト追加されるよ。はい、終わりで終わったらさすがにそれは。おーいってなりますよ。おーいって。
And also a way to be able to create content and events, whether you're a great player or just want to have fun with your friends.
30分の間の3つぐらいゲームソフトを説明してってことは10分ぐらいしかないわけでしょ。枠としては。
As we move on to, I believe, our fourth and final map of this competitive section.
And it's still really close.
ライブイベントなかったらこのゲームはやめる。人質みたいな。このソフトがどうなってもいいのか。ライブイベントをちゃんと実行しないとこのソフトがどうなってもいいのかっつって。
Might be someone overtaking Shorty.
Do you like that kind of map where, I mean, it's exciting, right? Because like dramatic stuff can happen, but also it's a little scary. Like you can just fly off the track and like, well,
lose everything.
It's all gone.
You can go from first to last basically by doing one mistake and one short mistake. So that's pretty exciting for the spectators. It's not that fun for the players obviously because you don't want to lose everything on one turn, but yeah, that's how you handle pressure on Trackmania.
深夜テンション。何が誰が？あ、俺深夜テンションなんですか？深夜テンションいいよね。なんかよくわかんないけど楽しくなるみたいな。
What do you call this kind of road surface here that's like a hill in the middle? I was trying to figure this out earlier.
深夜テンション好きですよ。もうすべてがハッピーになる。もう世界は平和になりますよ。みんなが深夜テンションになったら。もう30分になるよ。押してる。あ、でも1分ぐらいちょっとヨーロッパとあれですね。左上の時間見ればあれですけど。残りあと1分。 日本時間とちょっと誤差がありますね。ちょっとライブこっちに日本に届くまでの時間差が1分ぐらいあります。
Okay, I just want to get into the competition against other folks. I want to challenge
1
myself
分
right
で
out
で
of the
も
gate. What's the best
ヨーロッパから日本にちゃんとこうやって動画が届くっていうのはすげえよな。これがもし 5G とかになったらもう遅延ゼロなんでしょう、向こうから。すごいですよね、そう考えると。さあ、左上の数字を見てもらうと分かる通り、あと20秒で終わらせられるのか、彼らは。
I like that. I like that kind of like, because a lot about kind of competition is that progression and the sense of moving up in the rankings, but also of like this person is always the one who I see a few places ahead of me. Like you're chasing them, you want to track them down. Now this is our last race. Is that right?
Yeah, last round, and Shorty is second, so I have quite some pressure to be quite honest.
これ過ぎた。
Pressure is on.
押してますね、これ。
These like
生配信押してますね。
quite swollen, but he's in there. Oh, yep, coming up around this big, it's like S turn.
He's still first. I believe in him.
でもこれムービー用意
You
し
can
て
feel
ムービーだとしたらば
the positive vibes coming from you.
You
Just
can
this
see the slow
little-
motion vlog there. Just quite fun also to watch. And he's finishing first. Great.
There he goes.
I got
Looks
it.
It looks like Omar backed the right racer. Shorty coming in with a victory. And Omar, thank you so much for talking about competitive Trackmania. Anything else you want to mention before we wrap it up?
Well, obviously, thank you for having me, and thanks to the players for playing this competition. Thanks to all the closed alpha players we had, because they help us truly to make this game better, and we're pretty happy with the
最後に
Trackmania
一
we have
言み
right
たい
now.
な感じ
So
かな、
yeah,
これ。
just play Trackmania, it's free, and have fun on it. I'm pretty sure you'll have, and yeah, that's it.
All right, Omar, thank you so much. Trackmania, folks, it's out now on Epic Game Store and Uplay. Go ahead and download it.
2
Get in
分
there and get
半ぐらい
racing.
ちょっと押してます
Now,
ね。
our time with Trackmania is coming to a close, and it's on to the next show. Ubisoft
Next show.
Forward pre-show is starting momentarily. We're going to take a look at
何から
Ghost
来るか
Recon
ざっくりか
Breakpoint, The
雑談
Crew
ですか
2, Trials Rising, new stuff coming from all these games. You're not going to want to miss it. And then when the countdown timer hits 0, it's Ubisoft Forward, the big showcase of the latest and greatest
あと
upcoming
28分でいける
games
3
from
つ。マジ
Ubisoft,
で
followed by an in-depth look at Assassin's Creed
3 分
Valhalla.
ぐらい押してるけ
We
ど、
got
こ
a
れ
lot more in
予定
store
な
for
のか。
you,
お、来た
so
なん
let's
だ
go ahead and throw it over to Kat.
声が届いてない。
Thank you, Chris,
Ah,
and
click, click,
hello everyone, and welcome to the Ubisoft Forward
ウォッチドッ
pre-show.
ク
The
ス
main event
アサ
will
シン
be
クリード
starting in
バル
just
ハ
30
ラ
minutes, and
ハ
we'll
イパースケ
feature
ー
news
プ
from our unreleased games, including Watch Dogs Legion, Assassin's Creed
ゴーストリコ
Valhalla,
ンブレイクポイント
Hyperscape,
トライア
and
ルライ
more.
ジングクルー
Now to
2
warm
あ
up,
日
we
本
have
語訳ついて
30
くれてるありが
minutes
とう
of updates from the games you're already playing, like Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Trials Rising,
これ
and
撮
The
ってある
Crew
写
2,
真あ
as
の
well
映像
as
です
some
ね
exclusive behind the scenes so you can get
ジャ
to
ス
know
ダンス
us
か
a
らだ
little
ね
better. So let's kick off this pre-show with an update from Just Dance 2020.
ジャストダンスからだねゴーストリコンもちゃんとあるって日本語訳ついててくれたねすげえ字幕めっちゃありがたい俺頑張って訳そうと思ってたけど訳せないけどそうちょっとしか本当に高校生レベルの英語しか分からんけど完成だねジャストダンスこれプレイステーションカメラをつけて踊る感じだよね。エンターです。And dance like never coming July 23日。アップデがあるんだね。ジャストダンスのウェブで詳細をチェックしてみてください。普段やってることとはちょっと違うものがあります。数年前指輪ソフトはイノベーションアクセラレーターを開いた。これにより業界全体にあるインディースタジオとのパートナーシップやシナジーを生み出すことが可能となりました。今年は非常にたくさんの業界イベントがキャンセルされたので、過去数年間に指輪ソフトがいくつかのプロジェクトを紹介します。
over the past few years.
Our first indie showcase is developer Machine and Mensch, who is working on the Curious Expedition 2.
ゲームデザイナ
Let's hear more from the team
ーマー
behind the
シ
game.
ン、なんとか
Hi, my name is Masha and I'm a game designer at Machine Mensch. Machine Mensch is a small and diverse indie game studio
やっ
with
ぱ
eight
コロナの影響
wonderful
でいろいろ
employees based here
イベ
in
ントが
Berlin.
中止されたりとか
Our
してて
connection with Ubisoft came through a program
それでか
dedicated
な
to create ever-growing
田淵さんはでご
relationships
ざいますお久しぶりです
with independent developers. To
来ますよ
talk
もう
about
すぐ
and share
ゴーストリコンの
expertise
情
and
報が
knowledge. We work together in mutual respect, which we much
取り組んでます
appreciate.
はい
We're working on the Curious Expedition 2, which is the sequel to our expedition simulation game. This time,
4
the
時ま
game
で
is
には
set
出
in
るみたいで
Paris
す
in 1899 during the World Expo when the Eiffel Tower was built. But more importantly, you will be traveling to these mysterious islands. You will be interacting with
タイ
unknown
プかも
tribes, fight
ヨーロ
dangerous
ッパな方が
beasts,
ヨーロ
find
ピアンな
many
方が好きなん
secrets.
ですかみねこさんは
Thanks to our procedure
赤髪の
technology, every time you play, it's a new world, new characters, and a new storyline that you shape
こういう
with
ゲームあり
each
ま
of
したよ
your
ね
interactions until
第
it
二次
becomes
世界
really
大
your
戦の
own
ゲ
unique
ーム
adventure.
なんとかかんとかそしてプレイショーの後半ではさらに多くのゲストが来る予定なるほど
And we will have more indie guests coming up
Apple
later in
TV
the
プラスで
pre-show,
実写
so
テレビ
stick
番組
around. Now,
マ
a
ーケ
while
ティ
ago,
クエスト
Ubisoft released its
ゲ
very
ーム
first
を制作することに
live-action
関しての
TV
コメデ
show
ィ
on Apple TV Plus, and it's a comedy about making video games called
実際処理
Mythic
が使われ
Quest
てゲームの
Raven's
制作
Banquet.
サンドボッ
And
クスを
to keep
作
the
成
show
することで
authentic,
さらに上なレベルを
Ubisoft's
目指した
Redstone Studio went above and beyond by creating a playable sandbox for the game that is actually featured in the show. So now let's head behind the scenes for an exclusive look.
This is the home of Clancy.
Okay. It's very Clancy-esque.
Yes.
I get it. All right, now I'm starting to understand. I too keep all my
ゲーム
awards at the
携帯
front
ア
of
プリ
my
なの
office. It's entirely empty.
アップルなんとかアップルプラス
So Mythic Quest is Ubisoft's first live-action comedy. The whole show is about a team that is developing a super successful MMORPG, and it's about
MMORPG.
all the people within the game development team and their relationships and what they go through in creating one of the world's most successful games.
All right. Incredible.
Thank you.
But are we sure that we're finished?
When we heard about what was going on, we weren't really sure if we were a great fit because we
めっちゃ
always
音
made
声と映
shooters
像がさ
realistic.
ずれてるよね
And we listened to the pitch and we were super excited about the idea. So we thought, all right, what does Ubisoft have that we could channel to fit this?
You're fucking me.
Yes.
You're fucking me.
But I'm not enjoying it. It's for the game.
When we started on the project, I think we imagined we would just make video clips that would run on screens in the background or something, so it would feel like a real game studio. But once we saw the script, once we started collaborating with the team, we realized, oh, they want a game, like an actual game. Of course, making an actual game would take years, so we started selecting the pieces that they really needed for certain scenes. And from there, it was not long before we said, you know, what if we make this actually playable? What if we make it so you can connect a controller and control the characters? And so that's what we ended up doing.
The thing that I love most is the shovel.
ああシャベルかなって言ってたのこれか
Straight fire. Crunch, man.
We had requests to do things
これ映像と音声がめっちゃずれてるっていうのがあれですね
bleed out of their eyeballs first.
何点
Then they bleed out of their anus. Then they vomit and bleed out of their anus at the same time.
We set it up in such a way that you could trigger it in stages because we didn't know what the timing was going to be. The idea here is we can hit it and control the timing of when things are happening. So the next time you hit it, he starts puking out blood. And at this point, we would probably have the camera start panning back like this. And then you can hit the button again, and you can see the blood ocean itself has started coming in. And so now they're all bleeding out of the back end as well. And then the final is just everybody exploding in bloody gore. And then this was Keith's idea. He wanted the skulls coming up and bobbing up and down in the water, so.
David, can we actually make this quick? I've got a lot of work to do stripping blood ocean out of everything.
Yeah. Releasing a disease in the game.
離婚のアップデーは何時からあはいそう離婚のアップデーがいつなのかねいつなのかでいつ実装されるのかです
6 or 7 people in a room. And so I wanted to make sure that we gave them an opportunity to hopefully recognize
何日の多分18時からだと思うけど何日にパッチが当たるのかそこも気になってますよね俺
I was a little nervous, I gotta be honest. I thought it was gonna be a little cringy, but it was fantastic.
I thought there was a lot of truth and in the humor.
It's about time that we had a show about our industry.
You could tell when the audience was laughing, when they really hit something that felt like the game industry.
I think
Apple TV
brilliant.
So if you have not yet seen it, the first season of Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet is available right now on Apple TV Plus, and a full version of the season will be coming out over the next few days.
フランスリヨン。
All right, now it is
ザ
time
クル2
to
か。
fasten your
はいはいは
seatbelts
い。
and start your
次、
engines
ザクル2み
as
たい
we
ですね、
head
来る
out
の
to
は。
Lyon, France to visit our team at Ubisoft Ivory Tower
ワン
to
や
get
って
an
ました、
update
僕。
on the Crew 2.
ジェームス・リー。
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Crew 2 at Ubisoft Forward. My name is James Reese.
めちゃめちゃス
I'm
タ
a
ッフいたな、
community
今。
developer here at Ivory Tower, and I'll be your host for this quick glimpse into all the exciting things we have going on
あ、
over
知
the
らないで
next
す
few
か。
weeks. It's been
ワ
2
ンはア
years
メリカ
already
全土
since
走れたん
launch,
ですが、2はちょっとわかん
with
ない。
major
2 も
updates and
アメリカだった
hundreds
か
of vehicles under our belt. And our latest update, Summer in Hollywood, only went
飛
live
行
a
機に
few
もなんか
days
乗れ
ago.
るようになった。
Let's have a look.
ポルシェだ。ん？なんかレトロな車があったそうだ。あ、バイクもあったっけ、そういえば。映画のトロンみたいなバイクですね。70年代アメリカの古き良き時代。
We can't wait for you to get
め
your
っちゃ綺
hands
麗
on what's
日
coming.
産。
There have been a few
Bits.
speed bumps along the way, but over the past 2 years, you, the community, have made the Crew 2 a motorsports playground where all players are welcome and where anything is possible. So thank you to the Crew Social, Exchange, Discord, Reddit, and all of our players.
Oh.
We've got a little something for you
Volkswagen.
in-game to show our appreciation. It's the 67
追加されるってこと
Volkswagen
かな。
So let's see what kind of Hollywood twist
まあ、
you
ソフ
can
ト持っ
put
て
on
ないん
it.
ですけど。
That's it from me. There'll be more news dropping over summer, so keep your eyes peeled. Starting with this.
86じゃんこれ。あ、違った。86じゃなかった。あれだ。タイムスリップする映画のやつ。タイムスリップするやつの。バックトゥザフューチャーに出てくる。なんだっけ。そんなにいっぱいアップデあんの？あ、アップデじゃないや。イヤーパスか。プレイするとスキンみたいなのもらえますよってやつか。
In case you missed it, make sure to boot up the
ゴ
game
ー
right
ストリ
now
コン
to
は
unlock the
ケツの方に持ってきますね。鳥かな。次じゃないですかこれ。じゃあなんとかシミュレーター。
Our next video is from our second indie guest, Bossa Studios, who will be injecting a delirious dose of fun with Surgeon Simulator 2. Enjoy.
これこれ面白い今の。
Hi, I'm Nick from Bossa Studios.
これ面白いんだけど。何これ面白いんだけど。グロ。グロ顔2つあるしな。むちゃくちゃやん。
In turn, we shared with them the ideation processes that we used to develop initial ideas into living, breathing games. Which brings me on to Surgeon Simulator 2. We've really doubled down on the physics-based pandemonium.
一瞬で飽きるタイプのゲームですねこれ。
And we pretty much expanded on every other aspect of the game as well. So this time around, you're no longer just a floating
めっちゃ笑って。はあ面白かった。
You're actually a
何やってんだろう。ってなるタイプのゲームですねこれ。
with an entire medical facility to explore. And in addition to the levels that you'll find in story mode, you'll now be able to create your own unique levels and experiences using Bossa Labs creation.
でもこれ面白そうだね。なんかねいろいろ検証とかできそうだよね。
allows players to create either on their own or in online multiplayer with up to 3 friends. Everything players create can then be uploaded and shared with the
人の動きがもう
community. And here surgery really is
すごい
just
な。
the tip of the iceberg. During our closed alpha period, we've seen players create all sorts
あ
of
自分
amazing
で
stuff.
作れるんだ。
From bowling alleys to space
なんて腕
stations,
持ってんのみんな。
pirate ships to horror-themed escape rooms, and this is before the game is even released.
なるほど。
So we
自分でこう
absolutely
クリエイ
cannot
トしてい
wait
け
to
ばいい
see
んだ
what
ね。
players create when we launch the game this
す
coming
ごいね。
August.
なんかすごいわ。難しそう。
Surgeon Simulator 2, you can receive exclusive closed beta access.
ボッサスタジオってなんか聞いたことあるな。
So for those of you who are just
これが
joining us,
ゼロ
you
にな
are
ると
watching the pre-show,
メインイベ
and
ント。
Ubisoft Forward will start once the countdown on your screen reaches 0. And make sure you log into Uplay to
ディビ
unlock
ジョン
rewards
2の
as
イ
you
ースタ
watch
ー
the main
エッ
event.
グについて
But now our next segment is about an Easter egg
ゴーストリコン
in the
ケツに持ってきました
Division
ね
2. So let's go behind the scenes with the devs from Ubisoft Massive Studio in Malmo, Sweden to find out more.
Running through collapsed buildings, climbing over fallen debris, and encountering makeshift living spaces is
イースターエ
common
ッ
for
グにつ
players
いて
in the
の
Division 2. Within its
内容ですね
post-pandemic
これは
environment, many players have
Division
spotted
2の
something a bit more unusual, which has left them asking, what's up with all of these rubber ducks?
じらしていく
So there's a thing in programming especially where you talk to a rubber duck, and it's a way to solve your problems. If you talk to a rubber duck and you just say things out loud, it helps. One of our artists decided to take this to another level, and he used the rubber duck scaled up to like a ginormous scale and put it in the level just to remind him to do something. And it sat there for a while, and the rest of us kind of really loved this giant rubber duck sitting there for so long. We decided to put little memorials to it across the world. What started off as little memorials, and then we started
クリエイター
adding
の
stories to them.
遊び心ですね
There's one where these two ducks are sitting on a bench having a date together, and there's another one somewhere where he's sitting with an
ゴ
umbrella.
ーストリコンに
hiding
も
from
い
the
ますよ
rain.
ねなんかラマみ
The
たいな
idea
や
of the ducks is similar to the rest of our storytelling, where we're
つお
trying
コエ
to
ンさんは
add
ディビジョン2もや
some
ってる
hope into the world.
いいね
Because
イースターエ
you're
ッグ
coming
の
as
情
an
報らしい
agent
です
to try and save what you can and rebuild, but you need to know there's something there to save. So having bits of happiness lets you know like
神社
it's still worth saving for these little happy moments.
One shrine in particular became a
アヒル神社みたい
beloved
な
fan favorite, showing up multiple times across YouTube and Reddit.
So, Karen, how was your day?
Well, Luke, it's been
プロダクティブうまいな
So the origin story of Productive, one of our level designers made an amazing pun one day, and we decided to make a graffiti out of it and put it in the game, and it became like a duck shrine, and players started finding it and wondering where it
本
came
当だ
from.
プロダク
We've
ティ
been
ブって書い
finding
てる
these rubber duckies all over the map. It says here on the wall in graffiti productive, and there's
ああやっぱ
a
あるんですね
large
プレイ
rubber
してる
ducky,
とプレイヤーを
bigger
気
than
づ
all
く
the
レ
other
ベル
ones
で
we've found, and he's got bottles of booze all around him. Not only that, but he has a couple soldier duckies guarding a parrot in a cage. But there's more just like this in the Division 2.
いいね
What's
こうい
really
う
great about
遊び
our
心
community
の
is
あ
they
る
come together. They
クリエイター
find
がい
a
ると
common thing that they want to develop
自然とゲームも楽しくなるよ
or
ね
get unlocked, and they just put time and effort into it.
ブレイクポイント新レイドね来年になるっていうね
So that means
な
players
り
are
ましたよ
genuinely
12
hopefully
月予定してたん
enjoying
です
just
けど
exploring the environment and finding all these little Easter eggs we've hidden around, and also not the Easter eggs, just the main part of the game and all the storytelling we put into it. I haven't found all of them. I don't know exactly how many there are, but they haven't found all of the ducks yet.
Encouraged by the community's response to the ducks, developers recently hid another secret in the game and made it the focal point of an all-new community challenge.
We actually put Tommy the teddy bear into the game. So Tommy the teddy bear is a trauma teddy mentioned in a lot of lore, but the bear itself actually was not in the game. With episode 3, we put a bunch of them into the world, actually opened up an Easter egg hunt for him specifically.
It's a nice little exciting moment when you kind of open Reddit and you see someone's found the thing that you kind of just snuck in under the radar, and no one really knows about it, and some of the players are really clever.
難しいイースターエッグ
hard Easter eggs that some of the level designers and gameplay designers have put in, and people have managed to solve it with no help whatsoever. Gamers are smart.
So now that you know, be on the lookout for
さあ来る
both
か
ducks and teddy bears next time you boot up the Division 2. We now have our final indie guest, Thunder Lotus Games, who were the 2017 winner of the indie series that took place in Montreal. So let's find out more about the beautiful coziness of Spiritfarer in this next video.
サンダーローズ誰だ
Hey
誰
everybody, I'm
なん
Rodrigue,
だ
marketeer at Thunder Lotus. We're an indie
じ
studio
らしてい
based out of
く
Montreal, Canada, and makers
じら
of the
してい
games
くやっぱアップデがもう
Thunder
7月に
and
来る
our
か
new
ら
game
やっぱ
Spiritfarer,
これ
which is due out later
あ
this
れなん
year.
だねこうメイン張れるんだね
For the past 6 years, we've tried to make
ここで
AAA quality games with a hand
タイ
on
ミング
indie
的に
art. Hitting a quality standard consistently in game dev is a huge challenge.
3時
There's so
30
much
分からって言
trial
ってた
and
けど
error on the path,
もうすぐ
and
もう
during
間も
the
なく
Thunder
だね
production, we were lucky enough to have the Ubisoft Entrepreneurs Program in our corner to help us reach our goals. As co-winners of the Ubisoft Indie Series in 2017, we received not only generous funding, but also
間もなく
crucial
になった
mentorship and
まあいいや
access to the
間も
Ubisoft
な
testing
く
facilities. So we're
じら
grateful
してい
to
く
Ubisoft for their support and helping us make what would become our biggest success to date. We've taken that experience with us onto what
いやもう
is our most ambitious
10
production
分
yet, and that's
10分だよ10 分だよ
a cozy
あと
management
10分でメイン始まっちゃうからそれまでにゴーストリコンですよ
ferry master to the deceased. And as Stella, you're going to build a boat, you're going to
どう
explore
する
the
なん
world
か
in search of
ちょっと時間足りなくてケツの方がなんかいきなりなくなったら一番大事なところでメインのショーに行っちゃったらどうする
lasting memories, but ultimately you're going to have to learn how to say goodbye to your cherished friends. It's a game that's near and dear to our hearts and something really special. We can't wait to share it with the world later this year. So look for it soon on PC, on Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox Game Pass. Thanks a lot, and cheers.
オートバイプラットフォーマーアッ
It
プデー
is
トす
time
る
for an
あ
update on our favorite motorcycle platformer with the insanity, pain, and triumph we all know and we all love. Trials Rising came out last year, but I think the team from our Red Link studio in Helsinki has a little surprise coming to the game for the fans of the franchise. So let's take a look.
あこれやったことあるなこれ無料でできてましたよね一時期というか PS プラスでバイク好きそうだなこの人めちゃめちゃバイク好きそうだなこの人
Okay.
音ずれてんだよな残念ながら
Welcome back to the Giga Track.
欲しいな音あったら多分爆笑してたけどな今これもシールドみたいな
Far from a remake of the classic track from Trials Evolution, this is an all-new journey across the world of Trials Rising, in by far the longest track that we've ever put in a trial.
Did you tell him it's the longest track ever?
Yeah, I'm telling them that! By far the longest track we've ever put in a Trials game. The Giga Track will take you across many different environments, from the iconic...
このスタッフなんかシュールな人たちばっかなんだね人たちばっかというか2人か面白いねこの2人
Maybe you want to tell them.
The Giga Track is like life. It starts and it ends and it's long. Depends how you enjoy it. And also one secret thing. 4
わかりなさいませベロニカさん
Prepare for the ultimate test of Trials Endurance.
さあ8分切っていく
This Thursday, July
情報
16th
短い
for the
まあ
low,
ム
low
ービ
price.
ーでも長いのでも3分ぐらいだから
You heard that right, riders. Giga Track will be available for free to all Trials Rising players
欲
when
し
it
い情
releases
報
this
はアップデ
Thursday.
がいつ来るのかと来るかちょっと待って次
You heard that right. The Giga Track is coming to the game, and it will be the longest, most insane
最
track
後の
in
ゲームアップデー
Trials
ト
history,
ゴーストリコンブレイクポイン
and it
ト
will be free for
来ました
all Trials Rising players.
はい詳細を共有する AI チームメイトがゲームに登場する早速トレーラーを見てみましょうちょっと盛り上げましょう
Upcoming updates. AI teammates are coming to the game. Let's have a look at the trailer.
東京来ました AI チームメイト来たねああやっぱバシリ
The time has
有利だね
AI teammates are back in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And for all solo players,
エレフォンね
they're gonna be a
エレ
game
フォンについ
changer.
てからできるのだ有利
Available
で
at
きる
any
と
point after you have reached Erewhon for the first time. Fury, Fixit, and Vasily can be activated or dismissed at will.
自分で
And from
味
the
方の
beginning,
スキ
you
ン変え
will
れ
be
るん
able
だ
to
は
fully
いはいはいはい
customize them. This customization
Gear
includes
装備
all of the physical
フルコスチューム
attributes,
はいはいはい
as well as
メインキャラ
gear,
クター並みに
equipment,
細かい調整が
or
可能
even full costumes. Your teammates can be tweaked just as much as your main character.
環境に適応して喋る
Just like Nomad, your teammates will adapt and react to the world of Aroa and its environments.
ステルスで行
And
く
they
とき
will
は
always follow your own behavior.
はいはいちゃんと
If
伏
you
せたり
decide
サ
to
イレン
go
サーしたり
stealth, they will equip silencers and crouch,
サイレンサーつけなかっ
or
た
go
ら
prone when
ガンガン行く
possible. But if you decide to go loud and open fire,
命令ホイールもある
they will
はいはい
stick by your side. When deployed, you can issue different orders to your teammates through the order wheel.
おお集
There
合
are 4 different orders you can give to your teammates.
そこで待機
You can tell them to
Go.
regroup on your location, to
Grenade.
hold their current position, to go to a specific location, and to open fire on
そう
nearby
そうドローン
enemies.
からも行ける
These
Whoa.
orders can be given at any time, even through your binoculars and drone. Once they approach
自動的
potential
にね
threats, the teammates will notify you and mark them automatically.
Got a hostile.
With a good look at your enemies,
じゃあもうド
you
ロー
will
い
be
らな
able
い
to
じゃん。
set up a sync shot where each of your teammates picks a target. You can even link it to your 3 sync shot drones for a simultaneous 7 target takedown. The teammates have weapons equipped at all times, a versatile assault rifle to accommodate all situations, and a primary weapon that you will be able to fine-tune. Indeed, apart from mark upgrades and passive bonuses, the full gunsmith is accessible to your teammates, and their weapon of choice will have a direct effect on the battleground. Depending on the type of weapon they have equipped, the teammates will adapt their engagement distance and rate of fire. From close distance shotgun wielding, all the way to long-distance sniper shots. Of course, if you get taken down, your teammates' priority will be to try and rescue you. To achieve that, they will first focus their fire on the surrounding enemies before getting to you. And they will expect the same from you, especially as you will be able to carry them to safety if the situation requires it. Finally, the teammates will also be your best allies in any vehicle, especially on the road and during high-stake pursuits. The teammates will be available for all solo Ghost Recon Breakpoint players on July 15th, and we cannot wait to see your reactions. We'll see you on the battlefield, Ghosts.
4月15日だから日本時間で多分16になるのかな。やったね。あ、来たこの人。はいはい。
Hey Ghosts, I'm Grace from the Ghost Recon team. As you've just seen, the AI teammates are finally landing in Ghost Recon Breakpoint with our next major update on July 15th. Alongside the AI teammates, this update comes with a ton of new content, including a gunsmith upgrade, new PvP content, quality of life updates, and more. You will be able to try it all during our next free weekend from July 16th to July 20th. But that's not all. We've got one last thing to show you. Enjoy, and we'll see you on Aroa, Ghosts.
なんだライブイベント。
春日伊藤 speaking for the outcasts.
春日伊藤。
We stand against Sentinel's illegal occupation of Aroa.
新しい車じゃない。
We call on all of Aroa to join us. Separated, Sentinel wins. But united, we cannot be defeated.
革命早かった今。あ、支援してくれるようになるのか、春日たちが。協力することになるのか。ライブイベント、ライジメナ。なるほど。前作みたいな感じで多分攻撃してくれたりとか、春日たちがこう味方としてこう戦ってくれるんじゃない。増援来たりとか。ちょっと鳥肌立ったな今のは。全然コメント読めないぐらいこういう鳥肌立ったね。これはちょっとすげえな。ライブイベントレジスタンス、ちょっと巻き戻そうか。
All during our next free weekend from July 16th. See you on Aroa.
Looking for the outcasts.
センティネルにおけるアウロアの違法占領に反対します。すべてのアウロアに参加を呼びかけて。これあれじゃない？ストーリーでやったやつじゃない？センティネル勝利。しかし決断をし敗北をすることはありません。団結をし。
But united, we cannot be defeated.
サポートザレベルズ。レベルをサポートする。見えなかった今なんだ。フリーフォーオール。16日からなるほど、ね、ライブイベント16日から開催されると。16日から29日まで。レジスタンスか。レジスタンスだったんだね。なるほどね。めっちゃ悪いがうわーって言ってる。 ああ、なるほど。協力して、春日たちと協力して、なるほどね。ライブイベント完了することで、あ、ちょっと待って、なんかゴーストリコンの今あったぞ。あ、待て、いろいろあるぞ。
And they will expect the same.
We cannot be defeated.
先行っちゃったね、ライブは。この後。
Anyone else want to try to do better than that?
あ、メイン来るな。メイン来る。
Thanks a lot for watching this pre-show and enjoy Ubisoft Forward.
いや、でも来たー、感じだな。メイン来るぞ、メイン。ゴーストリコンのアップデはもう興奮したわ。今のはめちゃめちゃ Z レーティング。何からだ。
This is Ubisoft. This is Ubisoft Forward.
やべ、かっけえ、全部のゲームが。
Explore our worlds.
Meet the devs. See the games.
Join us.
かっけえ。フォーナーあったぞ今。
Hi everyone, I'm Neelam Kumar and I'm very excited to be co-hosting the first Ubisoft Forward with the talented Yusuf Magid. Today's show is all about getting up close and in-depth with all the exciting games we have in production here at Ubisoft.
I'm Yusuf, but there's no time to waste. So let's head straight for the streets of futuristic London and see what the hackers of DedSec are getting into.
The illegal paintings spreading subversive and hostile messaging over the last few weeks across London are not the work of several people as was originally believed. Individual. The criminal suspected to have links with the terrorist group DedSec.
リアルじゃない？めっちゃ綺麗じゃない？発売延期ってなってるやつ。警察がいたぞ今。めっちゃ綺麗じゃん。
First, they came for the foreigners, and I did not speak out because I was not a foreigner.
実写か？これ実写だよね、多分。どう本年がで実写と合わさってんの？これムービーか、ただ。
And I did not speak out because I was not a protester.
ドローンめっちゃ終わってる。
Then they came for the journalists, and I did not speak out because I was not a journalist.
多分実写で撮ったんだろうね、これ。
And then they came for street artists, and I did not speak out because I am not a street artist.
これが実写だな、多分。後ろが CG。 あ、これも CG だな、手前。合成ですね。ドローンに乗れるよっていうことをアピールする。使った時の爆発がなんかアメコミチックに表現されてた気のせいかな。雪月花さんおはようございます。おはようございます。チャンネル登録ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。めちゃめちゃ大興奮でございます。メインディッシュ始まっております。ウォッチドッグスレギオンですね、これ今。街中でいろんなところでハッキングして進めていくやつですね。延期で来てる。発売日とか出んのかな、これ。発売日出たら多分熱い。プレイヤーからしたら。 反対に開くドア。
And there's nothing more debilitating than that. This way, not to be able to do what you're passionate about.
After a long night, London is in chaos. The main arteries through the city are blocked. Hundreds of heavily armed Albion
キャラクター全部作れそうだね、これ自分で。
Welcome to the Resistance. Here's a welcome gift
レジスタンスつながり。
new members.
ステルス。ブレイクポイント AI チーム。そうですね、AI チーム。先ほどありましたよ、AI チーム。 あとはライブイベントも発表されました。16日から29日まで。内容はレジスタンス。狩る人のセンティネルとの大戦争ってところかな。
I'm Clint Hawking.
Clint has been a longtime creative force here at Ubisoft, and now he's bringing this vision to Watch Dogs Legion.
So yeah, what we just saw was an amazing short film by the director Alberto Mielgo that was inspired by Watch Dogs Legion and looks at the game and the universe and the characters through his incredible artistic vision and visual style.
The city needs a resistance.
Like the film, Watch Dogs Legion tells the story of ordinary heroes setting aside their differences in order to come together as a collective and to fight for a positive change. You can literally recruit and play anyone who you see in the open world. You profile people that are interesting to you, you help them with their problem, you play their origin mission.
Just help me get some closure and I'll do whatever you want.
Sounds like a DedSec problem. Leave it to us.
And that's how you recruit them into your team. And then they become the heroes of the game and the stars of your story.
And what are you doing in my flat? You with Albion?
Please, think more underground.
You with Albion?
I'm tickled, but think more underground.
What, DedSec? Yeah, right, and I'm Che Guevara. You're done.
And they make the story not only unique to them, but unique to you as the player and personal to you because they're heroes that you've chosen and invested in. What would I say to fans? I guess I'd say, take care of yourselves, stay safe. Welcome to the Resistance.
Our London town. A modern metropolis. Built on history and prosperity. Only took 12,000 years to build it up. And one night to tear it all down.
Listen up. Get all your units to move in and lock down the city.
With London under attack by a mysterious terrorist, the government turns to a private military company called Albion to keep everyone safe. What could possibly go wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nigel Cass, CEO of Albion. He's kindly stepped up to establish order.
Understand this. I will not allow anyone, not even myself, to jeopardize this.
He will stop at nothing to permanently control the city.
London will be the first city in the world to be made truly safe.
Nigel's not the only opportunist who's taken a liking to this fair city. Meet Mary Kelly, head of the most powerful crime syndicate in London.
Be sure and spread the word.
She and her goons are using the dark web to sell everything from party pills to people.
This microchip is scary, I know, but I got to keep tracks on my merchandise, don't I? You made me a slave.
You do not want to ruffle her feathers. With the city out on its arse, it now falls on you to build a resistance and take back London.
All right, everyone. Faces on, guns out.
Any of the brave Londoners you see walking the streets can be recruited into your team. Like him. Her. Or even her. Everyone can become your next secret weapon. In our first mission, we need to get some dirt on Nigel Cass, and that means breaking into Albion headquarters inside the Tower of London. All the hardy souls you see here are people we have recruited from the streets of London. They all have unique abilities, and you're free to tackle this mission with whoever you like.
Dear God, my eyes. Badly. Zip up, get to work, and let's never talk about this again.
Like everyone in DedSec, Arthur can hack pretty much whatever. But as a construction worker, he has a particular set of tools that make him handy. He can even call his own cargo drone.
ドローンもハッキングできる。ドローン取ったらもう自由じゃ
Perfect
ない
for
ですか。
gate crashing when you're not invited. And who needs a regular old gun when you have a
あ
bloody
の
nail
距離で
gun?
ドローン飛んできて気づかないんで難易度の問題なんです。それ釘打つやつじゃないの？違う。釘打つやつじゃない。
Perhaps we could approach this mission differently. If you'd rather keep your distance, we've got you covered.
キャラクターを
Amy
変
is
え
a
ると
drone expert,
What have we here?
a real tech connoisseur.
あ、ステル
Hate
スしてる。
spiders, but love this one.
お、小型ド
What
ロ
an
ーンを出
adorable
し
creepy crawler.
Here
て。
we
や
are.
だなあ
Let's
のドロ
class the
ーン。
pace up.
A drone expert does have the unique ability to summon their own drone. This little darling is fast and stealthy.
She aims, she fires, she hits.
I'm reading incoming drones.
She can also hack enemy drones, turning the
ドロ
tide
ーン
in
ハ
her
ッキングして
favor.
別のドローンをやっつけるみたいな。強いな、ハッ
And
キン
if
グ
you
で
are
きる
not
ドロ
into
ーン。
direct confrontation, there
Sa
are
別の
more
キャラクター
ways
見
than
てみよう。
one to get the job done.
お、警官みたいな人。
Recruiting an Albion officer like Brielle here might be challenging, but it'll get you inside restricted Albion areas.
Don't mind me.
Ah,
Just doing
敵の
recon for a bunch of insurgents.
基地でもこ
However,
う堂々と
do
入ってい
anything
けるんだね。
suspicious and she'll
戦わなくていい
probably
んだ。
wind
じゃあ
up with a
絶対こい
bullet
つ
in
で
the
しょ。
back of her head.
戦わないで内部いけるんでしょこれだ。
We're missing the human element here. I can get the defense minister on the line right now.
で最後ボス一気に倒せるってこと？最強じゃんこれ。
Criminals running our streets. Illegals threatening our
恐怖で
families.
支配す
The
る。
police commissioner himself. Assassinated by terrorists.
Well, that seems to be enough evidence.
敵にこう偽
Next
装
up,
するみたい
we're
な感じ。
crashing Mary Kelly's organ farming operation and putting a stop to it.
That's good. The buyers expect high quality stuff.
And we need a hard nut for this.
Impairing our frontal lobe again, are we?
Bags, don't disturb me in my natural habitat.
Say hello to Mickey. The man lives for his team.
That put another hair on my chest.
And doesn't mind getting his hands dirty.
ミッキー。毛しかないのかこれ。喧嘩屋なのか。
He does have a
ビ
slight
ール大好き。
drinking problem, though. And he's passed out. Ah, well, we'll come back to him.
能力持ってないのかなこれ。
You know what? Let's go with someone a bit more professional.
プロフェッショナルいますよと。暗殺者だ。
It's almost crass to call him a hitman.
ヒットマン。の割にサプレッサつけない。の割にサプレッサつけないスタイル。あ、でもジョンウィックっぽいねここら辺は。ハンドガンでこう敵の人決めて。おおいい
Some
ねいい
might
ね。
even call him an artist.
あ、いい。ジョンウィックっぽい動きが。おお、もう完全にジョンウィックだこれ。
Here's the bastard responsible. Done and dusted.
Not bad if I do say so, innit?
Not everyone in London is a legendary assassin or a super spy, but everyone can be a hero.
ああいう風にできるんだ。なんか金網バトルみたいなのやってましたね。
So get out there, find the best recruits, and build your resistance.
その使うキャラクターとか NPC によっていろんな能力がある。
It's time to take back London.
ウォッチドックス。 レギオン。2020年オクトーバー10月29日。
Plunging the player into a living, breathing city teeming with unique locales and characters has always been a central pillar of the Watch Dogs series.
So what goes into building those worlds? Here's Amanda Mutt to tell us more.
My name's Amanda Munt. I'm a level artist on Watch Dogs Legion at Ubisoft Toronto. Being a level artist, I think, is the coolest job in video games because we do get the freedom to kind of like pick and choose what little details we want to depict, and we get ample opportunities to tell the stories that we want to tell in the spaces that we're assigned to. I have the capacity to hide things and, you know, like small little Easter eggs. In AC Unity, there was a boat somewhere in the world that was covered in cats. And then it happened again in Watch Dogs 2. And there may or may not be something in London that is a boat filled with cats in some capacity. So I was fortunate enough to go to E3 last year. Some of the people that I was showing our demo to were from London. So no matter where I dropped them in the city, they'd go, oh my God, this feels like Camden. This, you know, this feels like Southwark. This feels like Westminster. When people are talking about some detail that I've put into the world and they're excited about it, like that feels so good as somebody who, you know, builds these worlds with care. I love it.
PS5 はだってあれでしょ、12月でしょ。ブロールハラがこうメインで出てる。
And now some news for Brawlhalla fans.
マジで
In just a few weeks, you'll be able to battle it out with your favorite legends on iOS and Android
今よ
devices.
50人目のレジェンドが出たって言ってたけど、これ僕ちょっとやってましたね。指輪から出てる格ゲーです。
3、2、1。
大乱闘みたいな感じですかね。マジで。ほいほいほい。やってました俺。やってましたってかやってます。めっちゃ軽いんですよ容量が。新キャラ出るのかな。いやもう出てるはずだけどすでに50人そう50人目出てたんだよね。ランチオンモバイル、あ、携帯アプリでも出るのか。なるほど、アプリでも実装するってことか。
And now, whether you need a Tom Clancy action fix on the go, or want to dive back into one of the most beloved fantasy franchises in gaming, we've got you covered.
マジミゲットマジック EOC なんだろうこのゲーム。ファンタジー系だね。モバイルゲームなのかなこれ、携帯の。あれだね。ああそういう系か。CM とかに出てきそうだねこれね。広告とかで広告とかで。携帯アプリにも手出してるっていうのは結構出てるんですね。指輪知らんかったこれ。なんかベルサス30みたいなのいたよエフェクト。赤い犬。
The target is being held on the ground floor.
なんだこれ。大人チックな。あ、でもこれあれじゃん。あ、UBI ソフトのキャラクターが戦うんだ。今ゴーストリコンのだよね。こいつらあれだよね。エージェントだよね。エージェントって言った。UBI大人チックな感じでキャラクターがカジュアルな、シージのキャラもいるし、今ゴーストリコンのキャラもいた。L3A にはそうそうそうそう。だから指輪ソフトのキャラクターが登場する L3A の捕まってんじゃん。あ、強い L3A の 奮したと思わせておいて、お、サムフィッシャー、何これ面白そう。ついの使えんのかよ。敵キャラなのに極悪人だぞマジかよ。これ面白そうだな。ゴーストノマドは出ないでエルスエニョだけ出んのかい。
Speaking of Tom Clancy, it's been 5 years since Rainbow Six Siege first launched, and the community has never been stronger. In celebration of this milestone, Ubisoft Montreal has put together a special video to thank all of the amazing players and developers that have helped Siege become the game it is today.
ウィーバーいた？マジっすか？全然気づかなかった。全然気づかなかったですね、ウィーバーは。
In December 2015, a small team released Rainbow Six Siege.
ウォーカーもいそうだね。
A game built on a strong vision, creativity, competitiveness, and team play.
Pour le joueur, le 1er décembre, c'est un début, mais pour nous aussi. Il faut tout de suite s'engager et dire aux joueurs, ce jeu est installé, tu peux t'y installer aussi, et nous serons là.
That original vision was quickly adopted by our passionate community, propelling it to a whole new level.
This is such a special moment, and being at 1 year anniversary of Rainbow Six now, game being stronger than ever, more players today than we had in the past, it means the world to us.
But we also had our share of challenges.
Health that touches upon subjects like matchmaking, connectivity, all those aspects are absolutely critical to the experience of the player.
Through it all, we're always driven by you, our community, and together, we grow stronger.
There is no sequel plan, and we're here for the next 10 years, so expect more Rainbow Six in your life for quite some time.
Look at this. クリエイターとプレイヤーのさまざまな意見交換がなされてて、
tous les succès, c'est vraiment le résultat de autant de nous que de vous. Ce jeu, il est autant le vôtre qu'il est le nôtre, nous, l'équipe de développement.
Now 60 million players strong, we're just getting started.
UBI の中で一番人気なのかな、シーズって。
From the devs that build the game to the community that plays it, thank you.
大会が結構盛り上がるよね。
If you haven't tried it yet, dive into our new Operation Steel Wave update available now and take Ace and Malusi out for a spin.
A few days ago, we introduced y'all to a brand new multiplayer shooter. Now, it's time to venture into the hyperscape.
やべえな。これはプレイムービーじゃないからあれだけど、どういうゲームシステムかだよね。あんな後ろ向きながら撃てんのかな。おっと。
What was that? A hack in a hyperscape. That's not
あ、そう、
supposed to
未
be
来の
there.
ゲームっていう設定なんだよね、これ。
Let me get you all up to speed, okay? About 30 years
30
ago,
年前、将来に関して
everything
は
that we
その
feared
全てが
about our
現実にな
future
り始め
started to come true. We made some good decisions. We made some bad decisions. Actually, we made a lot of bad decisions.
ドローンが今、
So
書いてた。
here we are.
2054年。
10 billion souls living in the crush of the megacities.
でかい都市に住み着いた。
But the people at Prisma changed everything. They gave everyone a way out.
電脳世界で戦うってこと
The hyperscape.
だよね。電脳世界で戦
In the
うっていう設
hyperscape,
定。
the biggest draw by far is Crown Rush.
クラウンラッシュ。
This is where anyone can become someone.
チャンピオンになるってことね。100人中チャンピオンになった人が勝ちっていうルール。 最後の1人になるかクラウンを取るか。残り70人。あ、こうやって表示されるんだ。UI で表示されるわけじゃなくて、街中の至る所にバーナーみたいのがあって表示されてるんだ。
If you get good at Crown Rush, it can change your life. But strange things have been happening lately.
未来っぽくした
Rumors of people getting hurt.
マップをそう縦に伸ばした感じかな、エイペックスを。
Users disappearing from the real world.
でスキルもキャラクター固有アビリティとかじゃなくて、なんかマップに落ちてるものを拾ってんだ。上下の動きが加わるからめちゃめちゃむずいと思いますよこれ。
And for others, a new way altogether. That's what brings us to the edge of the future, to the hyperscape.
I'm JC, Creative Director on Hyperscape.
JC's work on Far Cry Primal and multiple Prince of Persia titles has established him as a top creative here at Ubisoft.
For me, what's exciting is we started building it from scratch. Seeing it grow, adding ideas is really cool.
Hello, contender. Welcome to the hyperscape.
The game takes place in 2054. It's in a future where humanity has grown a little darker. One of the companies there, they are launching what's called the hyperscape, which is a virtual world and the internet of the future. It's the place where everything converges.
実際に
Within the
一定と
virtual
かじゃなく
world,
て
there is a
電
battle
脳世界
royale
にア
that
クセ
takes
ス
place
して
in the virtual city
プレイ
of
してる
Neo
って設定
Arcadia.
だ。何でもできちゃうねこの設定だったら。
Then we also introduce a lot of new
物流
things.
法則に従ってなくていい
You
んだ
get
もんね。
the opportunity to do parkour on the rooftops, go into interiors where it's much more narrow, much more stressful. You get to go to the
広いな
landmarks
建
where
物
there's
の中が。
more opportunities to get cool items, but also more players,
行方に比
so
べて。
it's a risk-reward kind of deal. We introduce the notion of hacks, special abilities that you can pick up on the fly to adapt your tactics. With hacks, you can do things like teleport yourself, you can wrap yourself into a ball and bounce around the battlefield. So a lot of abilities that let you have fun, that are toys that you can play with. And finally, it's made as a spectacle, so all the viewers will be able to interact with the game on different levels
なん
through
か
the
ツイッ
Twitch
チとの
extension.
コラボっていうか。
So every few minutes, there's going to be a vote, and viewers will be able to decide what effect they want to affect the whole battle. So things like changing the gravity, infinite ammo, or stuff like that. So players, while this happens, really have to adapt to all kinds of stuff that is happening.
なるほど。視聴者がなんかボタンを押すことによって
So
プ
for
レイ
me,
ヤ
it's
ー
really
の
exciting
操作が
because
変わ
right
るんだ。
now, as we speak, we're launching the
やりづ
open
らくなってる。
beta, and so it's going to be available
邪魔されんの、
for
視聴者に。
free-to-play
面
for
白そう
all
だね、こ
PC
れ。
players worldwide. And I really want to thank all the players, all the streamers, and all the viewers who participated in tech test and who will participate in the open beta. Here's a short glimpse of what you can expect.
面白いよね。配信見ながらプレイしてる人のなんかお邪魔ぷよみたいな感じが。ステカでもできるのかな。
Showtime.
That's mine.
Let's show them what I'm made of. Go time.
強い今の敵をジャンプさせるんだ。どんぐらいジャンプできるかだよねっていうか。
Watch closely.
なんかジャンプ力みたいなのがあるのかな。
この調子。
アルブラレディが2日で極めてた。マジでさすがだな。すごいですね。フリーズパト2020年12ジュライ
The digital world of the hyperscape gave our artists and developers incredible freedom when it came to designing characters.
Production manager Ana Maria Musca is going to take us behind the scenes of character design.
My name is Ana Maria Musca. I'm the production manager for characters and weapons on Hyperscape. We have paid an exceptional amount of
ガンツ
detail
み
to
たい
our
な黒いボール
characters.
みたいなあったね。
We
あれも
switch
なんかスキル
different
みたいですよ。
outfits, different
急に
fashion
ボールになる
statements,
っていう
different
謎の。
tattoos, different materials until we see them as real individuals, as real people. So the second you pick a character, you see them in game, you understand what their motivations are and what drives them and what challenges them. This was the first lineup of characters. This is our default base, but even starting from the hair down, everything has been meticulously thought of. Would this person actually like this type of outfit? Would this person enjoy the type of tattoos that we're putting on them? Will they actually like to be in this body? Each season, we plan to produce new outfits for these characters. So we're hoping some of our players are gonna see the effort and maybe even correlate some of the accessories to what's gonna happen in the game. We're very excited to see it in people's hands.
いいじゃないですか。
As we move into the next generation of gaming, Ubisoft has been working closely with console makers to take advantage of all the extraordinary capabilities these new consoles will offer.
Now we have a special guest to tell us a little more.
PS5 で何かを発売する予定なのかな？
Phil Spencer from
Xbox か。
With Watch Dogs Legion, Ubisoft is supporting smart delivery. So you will get the absolute best version of the game on any version of Xbox you're playing on. On Series X, you'll get to take advantage of the amazing work the team has done with DirectX ray tracing to create an absolutely immersive version of London like you've never seen before. Ubisoft has a unique ability to create immersive worlds, setting a new bar that continues to drive our industry forward. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I love the time I've spent exploring the world in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I can't wait for you to see the gameplay from Assassin's Creed Valhalla that's coming up now.
All right. We know you've been waiting to hear more about this game since it was announced back in April. And now it's time for a deep dive into the world of Vikings.
My name is Julien Laferrière, and I'm the producer of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So a couple of weeks ago, we announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the reaction from the fans was just amazing. The time period of Vikings is really inspiring. When we did our research, we found that, they were not mindless barbarians. Vikings were actually farmers trying to find new lands for them to settle. And so they had really human motivations. So for us to have this opportunity to tell kind of the real story about Vikings and kind of separate ourselves from the myths and the folklore is really something that drove us to make this game. The team went to Norway and England to take the same roads that the Vikings did to really experience what it meant to be a Viking at that time. And then leaving Norway, which is barren but majestic, and just coming by boat in England and see those rolling green hills full of sheep, full of life, is just this moment that most likely the Vikings felt as well. You need to see this land of opportunity. And this is exactly the feeling we want players to experience in this game. It is a personal adventure, it is the story of Eivor, a Viking chieftain. Eivor is either a male or a female. You decide when you start the game. They will have to leave Norway to settle in England because you just can't live in Norway anymore. There's too much political pressure, no resources available. Obviously, in England, it's full of Anglo-Saxons and other people, and they don't really want you there. So you will have to fight your way there to kind of build your own settlement and see your clan prosper. Vikings were brutal warriors. And the fact that they were mastering a lot of weapons coming from the medieval times really inspired us to kind of revamp the fight system, to leverage the brutality and the intensity of Viking combat. Vikings were not only fighting face to face, they were masters of stealth and deception when needed. they use basically any sort of tactics they could use to win the battle. So we want to portray the full range of combat that you can imagine coming from the Vikings. We are very happy to finally be able to show you the game we've all been working on. So please enjoy this deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
来ましたね。
In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you will relive the epic saga of the Viking invasion of England. You play as Eivor, a Viking from Norway, who will lead his or her battle-hardened warriors across the North Sea to the British Isles. Eivor is driven by an ambitious goal, to build a thriving Norse settlement in a hostile land.
The good of our clan, it is time we go our Viking. Today we raid, that tomorrow we may build.
England is a dark age tangle of broken kingdoms and warring dynasties, a land of opportunity and riches. As you prowl England's rivers by longship, you may raid locations you spot from the shoreline. Ground your ship and blow your horn to lead your raiding crew into battle.
なるほど、家を燃やして優位な戦況を作ったりするんだ。はいはいはいはい。仲間を助ける。
Your crew will assist you in all your raids, fighting enemies, battering down doors, and stealing cargo too heavy for one set of arms. Whatever riches and resources you pillage may be used to develop your settlement, giving you access to useful services, better tools, and new settlers. At the heart of your settlement is the Alliance map. It will serve as a record of the allies you have made, and a guide for future opportunities. The Viking Age was a time of warriors and legends. In Valhalla, you will find the largest variety of enemies ever assembled in an Assassin's Creed game. Every archetype offers a unique challenge. Some will coordinate with their allies for special attacks, while others will use nearby objects to their advantage, including the bodies of fallen warriors. To face these attacks, you must find and exploit your opponent's weaknesses to gain the upper hand. Take the fight to your foes with a host of brutal new combat abilities. Snare them with the Viking harpoon. Pummel them with throwing axes. Incapacitate them with the new stun system to keep them at a distance, or finish them off. Dual wield any two weapons you wish to unleash a deadly combination of attacks. Customize your fighting style as you see fit, and become a legendary Viking warrior. All combinations of weapons are available to dual wield, including two shields. Not all situations call for violence. In this new land, a Viking must find a way to adapt. As Eivor is not welcome in England, you may need to outsmart your enemies, avoiding unwanted attention in towns and bustling cities. Use Eivor's hood and cloak to blend with crowds, and slip past watchful eyes, an unseen hunter among the people. From capital cities and villages to the dense forests and rolling hills of England, exploration is vital to keeping yourself sharp. You must feed off the land if you hope to endure. Hunt and forage to replenish your health and fortify your equipment. Search pagan temples and Roman ruins for new activities and challenges to strengthen yourself and your settlement. The more you explore, the more of England's secrets you
な
will
んかっていう
reveal.
のは確かに変装っていうかもう村人に変装だもん。
But as you push deeper into
ステル
England,
ス薄いです
the enemy
ね。
will push back.
やっぱアクション
In
で
a
すね。これ
series of climactic moments, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will
工場
feature
戦と
massive
か
assaults
だね。やっ
in
ぱり
which
工
you
場
lead
戦とか
Eivor's army into
陣
battle
形とかになってくる
against
のかな。これ多
heavily
分村を
guarded
どう
Saxon fortresses.
燃やして敵の基地をどう攻めていくのかみたいな戦略ゲーの方が近いかもしれないこれ。この城をどう落とすか。どの入り口から
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will transport you to wondrous
だから
haunted
食料庫を
lands
壊してとかできるんじゃない
inspired by Norse myths and England's pagan roots. It will challenge and surprise
ボス戦もあるみたいな。
with unforgettable characters, thrilling triumphs,
バイキン
and
グがスカイ
tragic
リムのノル
losses,
ドの元にいただけある。
giving you the
そうなんだ。
chance to live your own Viking saga.
スカイリム。じゃあやってたわ。1000時間ぐらいやったんじゃないかぐらいですか。オデッセイの戦争パートしてる感じですよね。なんかアクションは派手でいいかもしれないけどやっぱ慣れちゃうとね飽きてきちゃうんですねアクションってね。
9th century England is truly unlike anything the franchise has seen before.
そこをどう
Assassin's Creed Valhalla
攻めてくるか。
will release this holiday season on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5,
PS5 も
Xbox
出る。
One, PS4,
PS4 でも出る。
PC, and Stadia.
ステディアも出る。はい。
We're close to wrapping up today, but before we go, our CEO, Yves Guillemot, is here to share a few words.
いやだいぶ出たね。
I hope you will have enjoyed what you have seen
メ
today
インが
and that you will love playing these
バルハラだ
games.
ったのかな。
I am
バルハラ
proud
じゃ
of
バルハ
our
ラっていうか
teams for delivering an ambitious,
朝栗だ
broad,
ったのか
and
な。
creative lineup of games. And we haven't shown you everything yet.
そしてまだ
In fact, we have
全
a
てを
lot more to
説
come.
明したわけではない。
So you will have another Ubisoft Forward to reveal even more about our upcoming
もう一
games.
つの指ソフト。
But before ending this show, we have one more thing to share with you.
「ファークライ」そうだね。言われてみれば。ツイッターではファークライの映像みたいなのがちょっとだけ出てましたけどね。またかっこいい映像作ってくるなぁ。とりあえず回転しとくっていう。これが弾になり、薬が弾になり、銃になり。ああ、これじゃないですか。ファークライ。違う？今の人。ああ、これがメインでシークレットで隠されてたのか。農薬サンプル、枯れ葉剤ですか。こういう宣教師とか洗脳する系はファークライよね。来たファークライ。やば、かっこいいな映像。実写？これ PS5 で出んじゃねえのかぐらいのクオリティの映像だぞ。綺麗だなめっちゃ。
It's beautiful, amigo. Perfect, but useless. I have something for you, Diego. Give me your hands.
Papa.
Now, the grenade is simple. It has 4 basic parts. The shell, which contains the explosive, the fuse, the handle, and of course,
ピン抜いて
pin.
What are you doing?
離したらダメだよ。
Breathe. The pin simply holds the handle in place. It is only when you let go that this grenade goes boom.
怖っ。
Follow me. Now.
怖っ。
I am El
恐
Presidente.
怖で操
Which
って
means
る
that
ね。
someday you will be El Presidente. And our people, they do not know how to be happy. They are torn apart by opinions, noise, indecision, strangled
め
by
っちゃ
their
反
own
乱され反乱
dreams.
起きてるじゃん。
And even if you have love in your heart, even if you want what's best for them, if you only want to save them from themselves,
兵士が白と赤っていう独特な。
they will hate you, Diego. Everything you say, do, believe.
あ、ここにグレネード投げろっていうのか。危な。めっちゃ緊張感作るのうまいな。なるほど、さっきの葉巻か。ほいほいほいほいほい。実写じゃねえ
They will
かよ。
answer you with screams.
人の表情が実写じゃないかも。
Evil. A monster. And give you this. So you tell me, are you evil? Are you a monster?
主人公誰なんだろうね。
Because our country is like this grenade, except it has 2 basic parts. Our people. And you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom.
陽気な中米のパガン民。パガン民がわからんな。
You understand now?
めっちゃ綺麗だな。
Brilliant.
まあそうなるだろうね。落とすでしょ。ああ、想像にお任せしますと。お2月18日。違う。え
And with that, we're wrapping up our first Ubisoft Forward.
18? え
Today, we've seen the next generation of Assassin's Creed, the birth of a resistance in Watch Dogs Legion, the cyber chaos of Hyperscape, and the epic reveal of Far Cry's newest installment, along with so much more.
Remember, we'll be back later this year with another Ubisoft Forward filled with tons of game news and updates.
Thanks for joining us.
おーあとゲームプレイ映像みたいなのがある。
Hey everyone, welcome to the Ubisoft Forward post show. My name is Yusuf Magid, and this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're going to take a deep dive into about 30 minutes of gameplay, and we're joined by a very special guest here.
Hey everyone, this is Philippe Bergeron, otherwise known as Fizz. I am the quest director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So Fizz, we're setting up here for what looks like an epic encounter. Tell us exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, so here we're midway through the quest that we're showing for UB Forward. Here we're looking at the assault of Bird Castle. So these are big moments that usually sort of culminate at the end of the story. And so here Avar, our Viking raider, is taking a group of raiders and Furds into Bird Castle to go and take down Rued and his clan.
So who exactly is Ruid, and why does Eivor sort of want to pick a fight with him?
Basically, Ruid comes into play about halfway through this story arc, where at the beginning of the arc, this is something that happens before. Ruid basically caused a lot of turmoil within the territory, and Oswald, who's the sort of elderman to inherit this territory, needs your help to take him down. Oswald having just been defeated in a previous quest, and so here this is revenge, but also accomplishing your ultimate goal.
So Fizz, as you're talking, we're seeing some of the combat of Valhalla. Can you tell us a little bit about the changes to combat this time around?
We wanted to basically add a lot of new mechanics to it. So we added like some dual wielding for the player, like a stun system in there. And we really needed to do this to sort of portray that sort of the brutality that comes with being a Viking in this day and age. So it sort of fits into that the time and the character.
結構戦いが多いのかな。ゲームだね、もう完全に。剣浮いてたぞ今。
Oswald lives!
Eivor, is that you? Shut your ass, twig spine.
Here, Eivor has taken her entire army through the assault, and finally, it's revealed that our Elderman, our ally, Oswald, is still alive, and Ruid has him captive.
So this is what it comes to, Wolfkist? 2 Danes fighting over a filthy Saxon whoreson? If this swine is your prize, come and get him.
So now that we've seen that Oswald is alive, we have Ruid within our sights. What's the next step here?
So the next move for Eivor is to finally face off against Ruid. She has her allies. They can take care of the rest of the army. Now it's time to go one-on-one against Ruid in one of our boss battles, actually.
Your battle is not yet won, Oswald.
And it's worth pointing out, actually, that here what we're showing is the player going and facing off against Ruid aggressively, but we tend to always have to support a 360-degree approach in these things. So the player could have approached this a little bit more stealthy and gotten at least like a good critical hit on either Ruid or his wolf, and so you can play this a little bit more strategically if that's your playstyle.
So we're not only fighting Ruid here, but also his pet wolf, right?
Here, one of my preferred strategies is to eliminate the wolf first, just focus fire on him. It takes at least one opponent out of the combat. Now, Ruid will have extra abilities that come into play if you do eliminate his wolf, but I think having one opponent less in the battlefield makes for a good strategy in the whole.
Your efforts. Only the cold dark of Niflheim awaits you.
Valhalla is my destiny.
これ弓めっちゃ強いじゃん。
That fate will not be met today. Why doesn't they should be roomed, wolf-kissed? Made thralls, not treated as equals. We are better than this. Than all of them.
Do not drag me down to the sewage you wallow in.
Why does a Dane fight tooth and nail for a Saxon? You'd throw in with these wastrels? These arrogant swine?
Eivor, no! He should be tried before God, a lawful assembly.
All right, so we've defeated Ruid, we freed Oswald. What comes next?
Oswald, in this case, prefers for Ruid to be kept alive, and so you basically have to choose, are you going to go against his wishes or stay true to your nature?
So we have this choice to make, but before we get into that, I want to rewind a little bit because we just did this big, grand assault, but Eivor couldn't have done it alone. She clearly had to recruit some folks along the way, get some troops, get some allies. So let's actually rewind and see how we went about first gathering those troops.
Right, so when coming up to an assault, it's a game of numbers. Eivor can go into pretty much any location and be a stealthy Viking, eliminating some of the assets, which ultimately would be a strategy. You can do that, and you'll have some of the ingredients or of the assets there that will have been sabotaged, but you still need an army. So here what we're seeing is Eivor going around the countryside and raising what we call a fyrd, which is the men and the women of the territory who come up and fight in the name of a king. So here Eivor is going around and trying to convince people to fight in the name of Oswald to finally take down the oppressor that is Ruid.
Defending East Anglia, defending you. Will you not do the same?
What? die in defense of a lost cause?
Yeah, so she's really using like the image and like the leadership that Oswald had, what he meant to the people in his name. She's going to recruit these people.
Pretty words, Dane, but the men of Theovard have their own battles to fight.
So we're told by this Reeve that there are troops, there are allies that he could add to our cause, but first we sort of need to do him a favor, is that right?
Yeah, so obviously these people have been run down by Rued and the impact he's had on the territory, so I think a lot of these people have sort of lost hope. And so you need to show them that there is hope. And so here Eivor is basically helping them take back one of their prized locations by taking a couple men and raiding a nearby township, basically taking it back for the people and showing that there's a reason to continue fighting and then get them on your side. When Eivor does this, obviously you have access to the full suite of abilities. So again, the improvements that we've done to the fight system. You have some brutal axe throwing in there. You have archery or like range combat abilities in there as well. So really, again, like depending on what your playstyle is, you can customize your loadout and go in there how you wish.
Fizz, we just saw this giant pulse go out. What exactly was that?
So that is what we call the Odin sight. The Odin sight is basically our interpretation of the Eagle Vision from previous games, and we thought it was good to sort of bring that back. It's basically Eivor's intuition. It's how she perceives the world. When the player uses that, it'll highlight basically interactive objects, like things that will bring her an advantage. So we'll have arrows, like health consumables that are in there. So it really is like a good way of sort of understanding the world and showing you like things that you can go and touch.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things we can touch, we just picked up this awesome new weapon.
It's something we wanted to play with on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where we have fewer weapons in the game, but you can invest in them more, so they become your weapon. And so depending what your preferred playstyle is or your preferred weapon type, then you can go and choose, I'm gonna fight with this weapon and invest heavily into that.
Not only are we looting weapons, but we see something here called the Book of Knowledge. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
They unlock skills for the players. So here you can see the Valkyrie dive that has just been unlocked. We have these spread out throughout the world, so again to promote exploration and discovery. As you travel through the world and you explore locations, you can find these books that will add abilities that you can go and invest in, put into your loadout, then go into the different locations with the different quests in the game and use those depending on what your playstyle is.
Now we've recaptured this village, we've secured more troops for our assault. Let's jump back now and figure out what we want to do with Rued.
The rightful king of East Anglia has spared your life today, and so it will be.
Compassion is a virtue suited for anyone, Eivor, including you. Thank you.
Eivor decided to let him live. Rued is really angry about that. Being a Norse Viking, being put to the death in battle is your road to Valhalla. So he was basically denied access to Valhalla in this situation. Obviously, all of these decisions come into play later on in the game, so we have very difficult decisions for the player to make. We didn't want to have easy decisions.
Yeah, you know, when I was playing, I decided to listen to Oswald and spare Rued's life, but what exactly is the relationship like between Eivor and Oswald?
So the relationship between Eivor and Oswald is an alliance. It's basically Eivor is surrounded by territories that initially getting into England are hostile towards her, and obviously if you want to set up a new settlement, you want to make sure that your neighbor is friendly. So here in East Anglia, Oswald is the man for the job, where putting him into a position of power would help her sort of secure her territory. So earlier on to the territory, Eivor comes in here, meets Oswald. The problems he had with Rued are sort of put to light, and going through the arc, you basically help him deal with Rued and aligning basically Danes with Saxons in one territory.
So, Fizz, we've completed the assault. We've gotten our hands dirty with some combat, taken down Rued. We have this big open region of East Anglia, so before we head off to Oswald's wedding, what do you say we head out, have some fun, and see what we can get into in the open world?
That sounds great.
So we see a cat here with a speech bubble above it, and you best believe if you let me talk to a cat, I'm gonna talk to a cat.
Yeah, these are some of our some of my favorite moments actually in the game, where we put out a whole bunch of events throughout the territory. And it sort of rewards, again, exploration, going around. It's a chance for us also to sort of showcase a different side of Eivor. A lot of the quests sort of deal more with like politics and warfare, and this shows a slightly more human nature to her. So it permits us to explore that character a little bit more. And so here, basically, like you're trying to help a kid with his cat, and ultimately get that cat to sort of join your crew as a cat raider.
You just said cat raider way too casually. You're telling me I could have a cat Viking raider on my longship?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh my god, yes, I love it. Perfect.
So yeah, as you're riding around the rivers of England, you would see a cat basically walking around your longship, keeping your Viking raiders company.
You know, speaking of the Viking longship, we're seeing some of that gameplay here now. Can you talk a little bit about how that works and functions in Valhalla?
Yeah, so starting out on this project, I think the Viking longship is one of the biggest images that we all have when we think about Vikings in our game. And so Vikings had this awesome design for longship that had a very shallow hull, so it permitted them to go very far inland very quickly, and you could basically disembark Viking raiders like on pretty much any shore. We added that into the game where you can basically sail up to any location and then just decide to disembark with your guys and raid a location, loot all its treasure, get back in the ship, and then continue sailing down the river to your next opportunity.
今、ゴーストリコンのサイトを見たんですけど、情報公開されてますね。AI チームメイトでレイド行くことができるのかっていうのもね、レイド行けないみたいですね。
So we added
コールサインはフューリー、フィクシット、バシリーなんだけれども、姿、性別、顔、目の色、髪型、顔のヒゲかな、ヒゲ、髪の毛、顔の詳細、ペイントとかタトゥーは自分の自由な感じにカスタマイズ。だからハムフィッシャーの見た目で戦うことができるっていうね、見方が。
So here we're seeing a bit of a different view. What exactly are we looking at?
We had this on previous Assassins where you would like ride on your horse and you could pull out, have the horse sort of follow the track. We have a similar thing for the ship where you can put up your sails. It's cruise control for the ship, so you can pull back, take in the scenery, listen to some songs or some stories, and just take it all in.
So, you know, speaking of Viking
各チームメイ
songs,
トは
we
常
have
に
an
2つ
activity
の
here that's
武器
not
を携帯す
exactly
る。
singing,
1つ目は
but kind of
変
related,
更と
right?
カスタマイズが
Yeah,
で
so
きる
here
よう
what
に
we
なって
have is what we call
彼らのセ
flighting,
カン
which
ダリー武
was
器
an
は常
activity
に
that Norse people would partake in.
標準
They
のア
would
サル
like
ト。
to have a battle of wits and sort
ああ、
of
そうなんだ。
poetry
アサルトは常に持っ
where
とくんだね。
insults would be
一人。
thrown back and forth
プライマ
between
リ
each
がショッ
other.
トガンまたは
The
エレメンジで
idea
ある
was
場
to
合に
try and have a good
ソニッ
insult,
クショットコマン
but
ドを
also
で
to
きるようになる。
have a good rhythm and
ソニ
a
ック
good
ショットっ
rhyme
ていう
in
コマ
there.
ンドを打てる
So
ようになる。
it's basically a precursor to rap battles.
Here's the silver. Now begin.
To all those whom I speak, they
ああ、も
say
う確
Abe was
定
a
なのね。
clod.
フューリーはセカンダリが553。プライマリーがベクター。
Then you're
フィクシ
speaking
ット
to
が
fools and their knowledge
M4
is
ショ
flawed.
ットガンと
Well,
How
セカンダリー
exactly
で
do you
805
go
プレイ。
about being successful
バ
in
シ
one of
リー
these?
が
The trick behind a good flight
セカンダリー
was to
416
choose the right insult, identifying the right cadence, and then trying to find what rhymed the best.
I'm known for my might.
interesting. Interesting. Silent whispers all claim that you're terribly dense.
Then you've clearly misheard them. My
シン
wit
ク
is
ショッ
immense.
トドローンを組み合わせる
Oh,
と
you looked out with that one. Well, what a surprise. Eivor of the Raven clan is a true talent. I'm shocked.
4
Don't
の
believe
8 い
everything
け
you
るっ
hear,
てこと
unless it touches on my flighting. Then heed every word.
めちゃめちゃ強いじゃないです
So
か
now that we've proven our sharp tongue and wit, I think it's time for a bit more relaxing activity. So we're fishing here.
Yeah, that's it. So we gave Eivor a fishing line, so you can actually throw out a line and go catch some fish. This is used basically to play into our new health loop, where the player will lose health in the world, and it doesn't automatically regenerate like we would have in the past. So you actually have to go out and get some supplies. So you'll find mushrooms and some food that you can gather. But here, like you can also catch some fish and consume that to regain some health. We also will sometimes have it in certain quests. So it's a good way to sort of chill out on the side of the water and just, again, take it all in. So this is what we call one of our offering altars. So the idea is that you find these around the world and you make offerings to it. So it'll take like animal parts and stuff that you can find throughout the world. Here what you're seeing though is sort of like a fancy version of it, where as you do your offering you get interrupted by some kids that basically come and steal your stuff. So it's just a way for us to sort of showcase that like the systems and the activities in the world can sort of play in with some quests and some little events. So it's our way to sort of dress up these moments and make it all fit inside the whole experience.
Yeah, this seemed like a really sort of unexpected turn for what I thought was going to be kind of a simple interaction.
Yeah, and it's really what we were trying to do with these events is to give another dimension to Eivor, other than just, you know, the pure rar Viking or the politician. Because you can imagine at some point that we'll grow old if you're always telling that version of the character. So it lets us really go into the depth of who is Eivor, what motivates her, how she can interact with the world outside of warfare
装備してる武器が例えばショットガンだったら近距離で戦うし、スナイパーだったら長距離で戦いますよっていうのを書かれたり、車両に乗ったらちゃんと援護してくれますよだとか、自分が死亡したら味方が復活するように立ち回ってくれますよとか書いてるんですけど、一番最後に何書いてあったかっていうと、私たちのチームは長い間 AI チームメイトに熱心に取り組んできましたが、プレイヤーが経験する可能性のあるグラフィックスにはいくつかのマイナーな問題があることを知っています。バグありますって言ってますこれ。泳いだり水に出入りしたりすると特定の状況で誤ったアニメーションが、トリガーにされると表示されることがありますけれども、ちょっと今は間に合ってないから我慢してくださいねって書かれてます。はい、水中入ったり、泳いだりとかすると、コンピューターとかAI チームメイトが変な動きするらしいです。楽しみですね、ここら辺も。はい、実装が15日だったかな。7月の15日水曜日ということで、ヨーロッパ時間何時か、時間書かれてないんでわからないんですけれども、16日になる可能性もありますね。15日の向こうの0時だとしたら、こっちの何時かな、8時とかなのかな。でも大体水曜日中途半端だな。大体火曜日の18時からね、パッチが当たることがあるんですけれども、今回は15日水曜日ということで、これが標準時間がいつなのかがちょっと書かれてないのでわかんないですけど。
Yeah, so here you're
バグ
seeing
には
Eivor
期待しましょうやっぱり。
running down
面白い動き
one
を
of her
することによってやっぱ
images. So
面
this
白い
is
ですからね。
challenging the player on free run abilities,
に限
but
らず
also
ですけど。
for fans of the series,
アサシンクリードがなんか今メインでやってますけれども、メインのメインディッシュはもう終了ということで、アサシンクリードですね。
Yes, by collecting these tattoos, you actually bring them back to your settlement, and then you can customize different body parts, having different tattoos everywhere. So again, another
今回
form
の
of
バルハラ
expression,
に関しては、
and it's sort of to represent that Viking
ゴースト・オ
culture.
ブ・ツシマの方がちょっと気になってるっていう部分があるので、
Fizz, one of my favorite things when I was just out there exploring East Anglia was coming upon a house or
ございますけれ
building
ども、 いやでもいろいろ情報ありましたね。ある意味、そうゴーストリコンね。そういろんなあとね、春日が出てくるライブイベントね。もうちょっとじゃないですか、15日って明日明後日しあさってぐらいのレベルのもうすぐ来るということで、これから動画まとめて、出来次第今日何時になるか分かりませんけどもアップロードしたいと思いますので、またよければね見ていただければと思います。このアサシンクリードに関してはまあもういいかなといった感じでね、皆さん今日はご視聴ありがとうございました。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。今日はね本当にお疲れ様でした。楽しかったね。これからまとめて情報を発信して気づいたことがあれば発信していきますので、よければ見てくださいということで、それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。寝る方はおやすみなさいませ。それではお疲れ様でございました。アディオス。